Okay, hold on. I'm engaging chat. Checking difficulties. Okay. Copy and paste that. Oh shit.
Bridge to Captain Picard.
Go ahead.
We've just received word from the fleet. They've engaged the Borg.
Mr. Data, put Starfleet frequency 1486 on audio.
Aye, sir.
Stan is not a great Eminem song.
No, I did not say Stan is not a great Eminem
Okay,
song.
what did you say?
What happens when a masked producer and a headphone-wearing comic book artist get together to talk music shit, comic book shit, and political shit on the internet? Monty. Hannibal the Beat Animal.
Hannibal and Monty shit show.
Holy shit! My name gets to be in the title this time. Hannibal and Monty Shit Show. Why is my name second? What kind of shit is this?
Hannibal and Monty shit show.
Let's talk some shit.
Get your shit together. Get it all together and put it in a backpack. All your shit. So it's together. And if you gotta take it somewhere, you know? Take it to the shit store and sell it. Or put it in a shit museum. I don't care what you do. You just gotta get it together. Get your shit together.
There we go. There we go. There should have been sound for that, right?
There we go. All right, now, so everybody should be able to hear us now, right? Are we good?
Yes.
Everybody got volume now. Y'all can hear everything that we're saying.
Yep.
Is that a thing? Are we good now?
Yes, I think so. So let's
Okay.
start
All
this
right.
off the way we always do.
Okay, all right. Welcome to Hannibal and Monty Shit Show. I am Hannibal the Beat Animal.
Monty. Sorry.
Wait, one more time.
Do it again.
Welcome to Hannibal and Monty Shit Show. I am Hannibal the Beat Animal.
And I am Monty.
And this is episode 20, maybe an episode about...
Always bet on black.
Or
So here's why 95% of the internet.
there you go. All
There
right.
we go. All right. Okay.
Yes.
There we go.
So, welcome, shitheads. Welcome, Hannibal. Let's do this shit. First, let's introduce our guests. We got Godless Engineer, GE, somewhere.
Yes.
Which way am I pointing? Where am I? He's
Godless Engineer.
He's
Godless
over there.
Engineer is
He's
in the Daryl box.
He's in the wrong
Daryl-
spot. He's
and
right
Daryl's
there,
in-
and he's way blown up. We're gonna get that fixed. That's being worked on. Godless
working.
Engineer is in the fucking shit right now with us, and we got Daryl. So, and also Streambot is being not Streambot.
Streamlabs.
Not Streamlabs. The bot.
Nightbot.
Nightbot's being a dick. It's not letting Zoe post links to our Streamlabs. If you like this shit, hit the Streamlabs link. We'll read it online, and you'll also go towards our goal of making us watch the last of Medea's movies, of Tyler Perry's movies.
Yes,
So-
yes. Which we'll be getting to that. So do we do next up now?
Yeah. Let's just talk next up. We're gonna talk about the next episode, and that's it. Don't worry about skipping to it. It's not there. But our next episode is our torture episode, and it has been the worst torture episode of all of the torture episodes.
So just so you guys know, is like, so first off, for everybody that, if this is your first time watching Hannibal and Monty Shit Show, welcome. We are happy to have you here. We love all our guests, and Monty and I are just about to cross over into 1,000 subscribers, which we didn't expect to do this soon. So thank you everybody who decided to tune in and subscribe. For all you first time shitheads or shit talkers, wait, we landed on shitheads, right?
Yeah, we landed on shitheads. We took a vote.
Look, listen. All right, we took a vote, and the comment section said they wanted to be shitheads and not not shit talkers.
Yeah.
Which, in my mind, I would much rather be a shit talker than a shithead. But look, listen. You do what the people say. So if the people say that's what they want. Anyway, every month, Monty and I do one torture episode. In December, how you doing, Caitlin Chloe? She said it's her first time. Good to have you. We got a shit show.
Welcome.
We got a shit show virgin. Just relax. All your muscles, okay? It'll be nice and.
That's KC. She's awesome. Like,
yeah.
We want her in the chat. She's a badass.
Yeah. So that's definitely glad to have you here. So anyway, every month on Hannibal and Monty shit show.
But she's not a shithead, she says. All right. Look, you can be whatever you want, Casey. You let us know what to call you.
Right. She said, "Hi, I'm Kenzie. I'm also an Alka." Never mind. So look, every month, Monty and I do one torture episode, right? And for December, our torture episode was Monty and I watched all of Michael Bay's Transformer movies, and we talked about them on an episode. We binged them in a weekend. We watched all 5 of those shits, and we talked about it the next day on the show. For January, our torture episode was we listened to all 9 Nickelback albums.
Some of us more than others.
Yeah, Monty more than me. Let's keep it 100. All right. Monty spent the whole month of January just listening to Nickelback. Right? I did not. I binged them all in a weekend. You know what I'm saying? And so we could determine once and for all, is Nickelback a shitty band? So in conjunction with, I did that last week too. I said in conjunction with Black History Month, like Black History Month is working with us, like Black History Month invested in us or something. But in conjunction with Black History Month, I don't know what to say. We are watching all 22 Tyler Perry movies, and we're gonna talk about them shits on Sunday the 24th.
Oh, I got stuff to say about those movies, but I'm not getting into it right now.
Yeah, and Monty has finished watching them all.
Yeah.
I've only watched 6, so I still got 16 more to watch.
Yeah. And look, I'm gonna say this: I am pissed the fuck off. So you'll find out why.
Yeah, I'm not in that place right now. So
I'll tell you, like I told you the other day, man. I gotta thank y'all for doing this, because there's no way that I would ever do this myself under any circumstance.
And look, I'm not a religious man, but I'm gonna go with a Charlemagneism here. Tyler Perry, you got to come up to the front of the church next week.
Yeah, we got some explaining to do. Okay, come to the front of the Congress. We need to talk.
Yeah.
This shit is fuck, man. Tyler,
yeah, but
and I'm only 6. I'm only 6 in, and Monty's watched all 22 of them so far.
Yeah. So, but that being said, that's next week. So
yeah,
this week we are getting into all the comic book movies featuring black superheroes that came out ever, as far as we know. If we missed any, let us know in the chat.
Yeah, if we missed any, and keep in mind, we're only doing movies based on comics, so we will not be talking about Blank Man or Meteor Man or Leonard Part 6 or Black Dynamite. We're only talking about movies that were based on comics. And Monty, there's actually an issue that we should address concerning one of the movies that I just mentioned.
Okay, what's that?
You want to do it now? Okay, so Meteor Man was was a movie, but then Marvel turned it into a 6-issue limited series.
Doesn't count. Doesn't count.
Yeah, see, and I knew you would lean towards that, and I'm not against that idea, because I'm not trying to look at Meteor Man again.
As you say, I'm notorious for. I'm gonna bring up some old shit. Do you remember? do you remember the argument that we had about me putting Transformers on a list as a comic book movie from the Little Show?
Yeah.
This falls on that side of it. It
I
wasn't a comic before it was a movie.
Okay, I know. It's just there's a weird gray area there for certain things.
Well, I'm gonna make it easy. Movies inspired by comic books.
Okay. All right, fair. I'll give you that.
All right, there we go. So let's move this shit forward. I forgot what the next segment was. Why don't we just let the video tell us what the next segment is? Because I'm not prepared right now.
Okay.
We'll let the lovely Zoe move us into the next segment. Whatever it is, that's what the next segment is, and I know the order after the next one. Oh no, I know what it is. We're about to research and development sent us a new Black History Month video.
Okay.
And
So,
you explain that while I tell Zoe where to find this.
Yeah, I got you. So for the entire Black History Month, Monty and I have been trying to honor Black excellence.
Yes.
And research and development, who did our very awesome intro, has been every week just fucking it up. Just like every week, like the first week, he honored like Mr. Belvedere and Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. And it was like you completely missed the mark all the way. And then last week, he honored Disney's The Black Hole.
Yeah.
And Pitch Black, the movie, which was way off. So I'm hoping this week research and development, after a good talking to, has got our.
I sat him down actually yesterday.
Okay.
And talked to him, and I was like, look, and I think I got it into his head. I was like,
okay.
I said, look, Black excellence. That's what we want to celebrate.
Okay.
Black excellence. And I think he understood. Like, he repeated it 3 times to me. It's like, I got it. Black excellence.
Yeah.
So this is what it is. Here we go.
Okay.
As soon as it transitions, it's coming. Streamlabs is being a dick right now. It didn't transition. Press the space bar, Zoe. I changed the setting. I might have fucked you on that one. Sorry.
There we go.
Black History Month. The shit show would like to honor the font Arial Black.
Stop!
No! Damn it! Damn it!
He got it wrong.
Why would he honor a font? Arial Black?
I don't know.
Fuck.
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with him. I'm gonna text him right now. We'll get another one.
Okay.
We'll get another one before it's over.
He's not even trying. It's like I feel like R&B is trying to piss me off every week.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know. Well, I guess because Arial Black is an excellent font. It's the font we use all over the show. So if you want to copy our design, just use Arial Black. Arial Black is the font for the show. So
Arial Black, it just sounds like, the Little Mermaid when she running late. Just like fucking.
Yeah. Well played, Hannibal. Well played, Hannibal.
I can tell by the screen loaded up that we're going into What's Eating Hannibal next.
Yeah, there you go. You see we're on this shit. So let's go right into it, because we got to fast forward through these segments because we got to get to these movies. So here we go.
Okay. I'm gonna do this one real fast.
All right, here we go.
Go ahead, let's do it. Reese sees in the chat. Reese said David Bowie was black, wasn't he? I don't know.
Are you research and development, Reese? And it's
know,
Reese Hannibal, not Reese C.
I just said Reese C so we could acknowledge him in the chat, but I'm just gonna call him Reese. I don't know if David Bowie had any black in him, but I definitely know he was in something black for sure.
I see what you did there. I see what you did there. All right. Yeah. So here we go. Let's find out what's eating Hannibal.
All right, let's do it.
Women drivers, people who talk during the movie, customers who cannot make up their mind while ordering food.
They shit on LA, they shit on Chicago, they shit on Miami, they shit on New Jersey.
New Yorkers, Atlanta Falcon fans, possibly people from Alaska.
They hate Canadians, they hate the South, they hate the rain, they hate the snow, they hate murder, they hate crime, they hate fucking everything. They hate the Knicks when they're winning, they hate the Knicks when they're losing.
Indecisive morons, blithering idiots, humans. These people have formed a burning question. What is grinding Hannibal's gears?
Every time. I just want to change it. That was another brilliant thing by research and development. So
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Our research and development has done some really good shit over the years. You just, it just fucking. Reese is already calling for me to change masks.
Let's get through What's Eating Hannibal first.
All right, let's do What's Eating Hannibal first. So this What's Eating Hannibal has kind of been a couple weeks coming, and I sat on it because so much other stuff has happened up until now. But a couple of weeks ago, Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz, passively is floating out there that he might want to run for president, and he's been saying a bunch of different little things, trying to test the waters and see how people are going to respond to him, stuff like that. I don't really care if he runs for president or not. I mean, I might care in the long run if he runs for president. I just want to talk about one thing he said specifically. While he was doing an interview, he said that he doesn't see color. He didn't see color as a young boy, and he doesn't see color now. So just know, this is like one of those things that like people like to say because they think it makes them sound very worldly and very like open-minded. Like, oh, I don't see color. You know what I'm saying? I don't see, like, shut up. First off, yes, you do. You do see color, all right? And then, like, if you don't see color, what else don't you see? Do you not see height and weight? Like, what do you do when you get to a stoplight? Do you just keep going? Or do you, like, what happens at the light? You definitely see color. This whole fucking, I'm so progressive that I don't see just the cultural bound. Just stop it, all right? Look, these things exist. Color exists. Culture exists. You see it, acknowledge it. You don't have to just, like, I get it. You want us to know that you're open-minded. You can be open-minded without saying dumb shit like, I don't see color. You absolutely see color. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't see color, then I got a bunch of other questions. Like, how do you, when you eating salt and pepper, how do you know which is which? You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking, you know what I'm saying? It just be like, like, push the green button, not the red button. What do? You don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just like if you turn on a gas stove and the shit is green, you just like, hey, look, listen. I don't see color, all right? That shit doesn't exist, all right? Color absolutely exists. There's like 16.9 million of them that's on my computer right now. It exists, and you see it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, stop doing the ultra progressive, I don't see this and I don't see that. Because, like you said, like, if you don't see color, do you see height and weight as well? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm 6'2". Do you see that as well? I'm 240 pounds. It's, hey, listen, I don't see fat, all right? All I see is just, everybody is skinny in my eyes. Like, shut up. You sound dumb. Stop being ultra progressive. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessary, all right? You can be like, look, it's okay to be like, yeah, I see black people, I see white people, I see Chinese people, I see it's okay. It doesn't mean that you're racist if you acknowledge other people's races, all right? Like, you don't have to be so progressive that you fall off the fucking cliff. All right, like, don't do that shit. It's not necessary. You don't have to do that shit. That's what's Eating Hannibal. I want to keep it real simple today.
That was simple. I got to tell you, and this is a callback to talking about Tyler Perry. I'm going to get into it on the show. But I called my mom up, and we had a minor argument about Tyler Perry movies yesterday. And one of the things that came up was she told me, boy, I raised you to not see color. That shit set me off.
Like, you're not colorblind. I mean, like, mama, I'm an artist. Like, I definitely see color.
Wait, hang on. I don't know what Kenzie Madeline did. Nightbot is being a dick. I'm sorry, Kenzie. I've never seen anybody in our chat that needed to be timed out. I might turn Nightbot off. I'm sorry. I'm going to figure out how to untime you out. Sorry, whoever that is. I just saw it pop up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Apparently she just did it in all caps, and that's apparently spamming to Nightbot.
No, that's Nightbot. Fucking stop it.
You see, that's what happens, man. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? No, here's what I'm going to do. I
told you not to feed Nightbot, because then once you feed it, then you have to have it come in the house, and it just is too much.
All right. I just took
potty train Nightbot.
I fixed it. I just took Nightbot's mods away. So everybody should be good.
There you go.
Nightbot's doing crazy shit. All right. Yeah. I'll fix Nightbot for the next stream. No, you're okay, Kenzie. We're not mad at you. You can make whatever fucking joke you want. I'm sorry, Nightbot was being a dick.
Being a dick or being an asshole? Oh, being a piece of shit.
There we go. Being a piece of
There
shit.
you go.
There we
Branding, baby. Branding.
All right. Now let's move into the super interactive part of our show. Let's do fair or foul.
Yes.
Here we go. And I didn't get to put the clip I wanted. Just play it over me if I'm still talking, Zoe, when you're ready. Gotcha. I didn't get to add the part that I wanted from Steel, but you know, it happens.
Yes. How big are your balls? Okay, Mr. Rashid. Are they ready for the truth?
Yes, they're ready for it.
That's lovely.
And what's good? And how do they hurt us? Because they love Phil.
We don't need to give any time to them now, do we?
We're talking about deliverance. See, I'm talking, so many people out there are captives. And I'm talking about homosexual lifestyle. I was delivered from something like that. I was a prostitute for over 30 years. I sold my body on the street corners. See, I can talk about that sin. Hallelujah, because see, I was wrapped up, tied up, tangled up. And I loved it when I was doing it. Hallelujah, God came and purged me. Hallelujah, God made me get it the old-fashioned way. You just turn your soul unto me and I'll use you. But now I can shake for Jesus up under the anointing of the Holy Ghost. Bless you.
Suck my cock, bitches.
God bless you.
Has the Imperial Magistrate reached a verdict? I have. Guilty or innocent? Innocent. Feed him to the
Yes.
All right.
Fair or foul? Why don't you explain how this shit works, Hannibal?
Okay, fair or foul. So this is pretty simple. Reese, I know it's your first time on the show. Daryl, you've been with us a few times, and yes. Oh wait, what did I say? Reese, I'm sorry. GE. My bad.
Stop reading the chat.
I am. I'm looking at the chat, and then I'm sorry. GE. Godless Engineer, this is your first time on the show. Daryl, you've been on a few times, and all of the shitheads know how this works. So we have a segment on the show called Fair or Foul. You know, typically I'll do a deep dive on the news every day. Reese already called foul. Hold on, wait, give us a chance first. So I'll do a deep dive on a bunch of stories in the news, and I'll, look at read the story, and I'll look at the result or the outcome of the story, and then we'll decide amongst ourselves if we think the outcome was fair or if the outcome was foul. So that's what this segment is. All right, it's pretty easy. I'm gonna tell you the story, and then you guys tell me if you think the outcome is fair or if you think the outcome is foul. That's it. It's
all right.
Pretty easy.
Sounds good.
Well, let's get this shit going.
Right. That first one is kind of heavy, so let me pick this R. Kelly one instead.
Foul. All
right, so the good brother R. Kelly is in the news again. But actually, okay, so this story I thought was kind of interesting when I came across it. Right, the story was written by the Associated Press. It's called "The Dilemma of Having an R. Kelly Penned Hit: Sing or Sink It." And it basically talked about all these different artists who have songs written by R. Kelly, right? And it said the article starts off, a Grammy-nominated singer Joe singing the hit song R. Kelly wrote and produced for him is out of the question. He said, and I quote, "I've stopped performing the song." He said in a statement to the Associated Press, referring to More and More. Apparently that's the name of the song, a top 20 R&B release song in 2003. No music or intellectual property is worth being inconsiderate to the feelings or pain of others, is what Joe said. And then the article goes on to write out a list of all the shit that he wrote for all these different people. Fantasia Barrino, Lady Gaga, Celine Dion. R. Kelly wrote a lot of hits for a lot of different people. Whitney Houston, I mean, she's not here, so that's a non sequitur. Aaliyah. And a lot of different artists have said that now that they know about R. Kelly, because all of this is brand new news, right? Now that they know who he is, they've all decided that they're not going to sing his songs. They're not going to sing his songs anymore at all. So the question is, if you're a singer and you decide to stop singing an R. Kelly written song, is that fair or foul? What do you guys think?
I think it's fair. I think they should have stopped singing it a long time ago. But I'll leave it up to the rest of the panel.
I don't know.
I say it's fair under the circumstances.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that it's fair because I mean they're the ones putting their face to whatever song that's being played. Like they're the ones that get the recognition for it. Well, I mean, I guess maybe R. Kelly would get some kind of recognition, but I mean the main face on it is the person performing it. So I think it really should be up to them as to whether or not they perform it.
Yeah, and then the other end of it is, if you're the guy, like GE, let's say R. Kelly wrote a song for you. And you were a singer, like you know, you go on your ukulele tour, and you're singing this song R. Kelly wrote for you. But you find out that this song was written about a 12-year-old girl that he liked to piss on. Would you keep performing that?
Fuck no, I would not.
See, fair.
Be fair. That is being fair. It's like, nah, dude. You were while you were writing this, you were masturbating to some shit. So I don't want this shit on my stuff.
Yeah, to you it's about something else, but where it came from was golden showers on underage girls.
Imagine if you're that artist where the R. Kelly song is the one hit you have in your catalog.
That's gotta suck.
And see, for me, that's why I'm leaning more towards foul than fair. And I'm gonna tell you why, right?
Okay.
As a music producer. Go ahead, Daryl.
I said, think about somebody like Sunshine Anderson.
Yeah.
The only song I knew from her, I'm pretty sure R. Kelly wrote that song.
Yeah, and it's not just Selena Johnson. It's also it's not just Sunshine Anderson. It's also Selena Johnson, and Omarion from B2K. You know, they're about to go back on tour, like the millennial, the millennial something tour, right? And B2K's biggest hit is called Bump Bump Bump, and it was written and produced by R. Kelly. Now, if I went to go see B2K live on tour and they don't perform that song, I'm mad as fuck. That would be like me going to see Bonnie Raitt and she doesn't do I Can't Make You Love Me.
But what if B2K comes out and says, we're not going to do that song because R. Kelly wrote it?
No, Omarion said they're going to stop doing the song after this tour and out of respect to his victims. But he also wants to let his fans know when y'all come to the show, y'all gonna hear this song. And I actually think this article
they have their own sexual issues as well.
One of the B2K dudes I think got raped by his manager or something like that. So
dude, I think it was all of them.
Yeah, but I don't know anything about that. But I was gonna say. Somebody like B2K, can't they just call up Babyface and say, hey, we got the Babyface ought to do a special. If you got an R. Kelly song, come to me, 50% off.
50% off.
Just
show me your song.
Yeah,
I'll give you a better one. Yeah, I'll give you a hit.
Yeah, just use the promo code PISS Top 10 and you get 50% off. Dude. I don't know. I think this article started because Celine Dion stopped performing "I Am Your Angel," and a lot of her fans were pissed off. No pun intended. And they were like, why'd you stop doing the song? And she was like, because R. Kelly did it. You know, Lady Gaga has some R. Kelly songs too in her catalog, and she was like, well, now that I know what he is, I'm not going to do these songs. I'm like, but if I pay my money to see you perform and you don't perform the song that I want to hear, and it's a big hit, like if it's like a disposable hit, I'm not worried about it, right? But if it's like a really, really, really big hit, you better perform that motherfucker. Because here's the thing, outside of two people on this that's on this show right now, nobody knows who wrote nothing. Nobody knows who produced nothing. You don't know. You don't know. Like you don't know who did any of these songs. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I can't hear my favorite song because he pissed on a couple girls. Because he pissed on a few dozen girls, I can't hear this song.
Well, no. It's not. No. It's not that. Oh, he pissed on a girl. Like, there's no. I mean, there's a good chance that a president got either pissed on or did the pissing.
Yes, or both.
It's the fact that he pissed on an underage girl. I think is the hang up there.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, look. I'm just separating the art from the artist. All right. That's all I'm saying. I get why they're doing it, and if you have like a smaller hit, you know what I'm saying, and then you're like, oh yeah, this wasn't like a big record for me, then yeah, put it on the side. But like B2K goes on tour, that would be like the Backstreet Boys going on tour and not doing "I Want It That Way." Like, come on.
Okay. But Hannibal, are you gonna like get pissed off because an art museum won't show Hitler's work? Or something? Like, I don't mean to succumb to Godwin's law, but if you're going to separate the art from the artist, I mean, you could apply the same kind of logic to like Hitler and his painting.
That depends. Did Hitler have a top 20 song in Ignition? Because if he did, I might listen to that shit again. You gotta see what it sounds like first. I gotta hear the remix.
Look, if you found out that he was masturbating to like I don't know, genocide or something while he was making that particular rap mix, I mean, would you still listen to it? And
this is the Burning Jews mix. There we go.
Yes, it is.
Damn.
I started to try to think of possible lyrics, but I just think that's
we won't give you clippable content so that people can use it against you later.
Yeah.
Look, you go up against crazy flat earthers, dude. We don't want to put you in that position here. We'll just go with the Burning Jews mix, and I'll say it. There you go.
Okay, let's see. What is this? I don't even remember what this story is. Okay, here we go. This is funny. Cause some of these stories I've just been sitting on them for a while. Okay, 10-year-old boy wins science fair by questioning if Tom Brady is a cheater. Science fairs are a rite of passage in elementary school, and one clever 10-year-old just won his science fair by asking the question on so many Americans' minds: is Tom Brady a cheater? Ace Davis, his name is Ace. Shout out to his parents. They gives no fucks. Ace Davis from Mill Creek Elementary in Lexington, Kentucky, focused his project on Deflategate, telling NFLDraftDiamonds.com how the Super Bowl winning quarterback inspired it. He said, and I quote, "I hate Tom Brady. He's been accused of cheating before. I want him to be caught." You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
This kid wrote a science fair project about Tom Brady cheating, and he ended up winning the science fair. So here's the thing: that's not science. So it's fair or foul that he won the science fair with a project that wasn't science. I fuck with him because I don't fuck with Tom Brady. But at the same time, that is not science. That is not a science project.
I think it all depends on how he arrived at his data, how he got his conclusions. Because there's a scientific way to approach that.
Yeah, there's all types of science involved with the way that those balls were inflated and all of the stuff that they you can make a science project out of it. I can see that. That sounds like something I would have done in school. Found a way to make science out of sports.
Look, I'm going to say this. I believe being as nerdy of a task as this is, building the greatest comic book list of all time as we're doing, is as scientific as we can get with this, with our scale of averaging out numbers and doing the math on it all. Like, I know after this show, for the next week, Hannibal's going to be crunching numbers and calling me and telling me where shit's falling.
He's not lying. He's absolutely right. I take this shit very seriously.
So I say fair that he won.
Caitlin Chloe says it's foul as fuck because that's not science. And then hold on, wait a minute, where is it? Penultima said give this kid a study grant. Vapion said fair. His family is from Kentucky, and the fact that they even had a science fair is a step forward. So shots fired at Kentucky, Vapion. Bang, bang.
I don't think that anybody can make the claim that it's not science without actually seeing the project itself.
Yeah, I think we need to see more. GE, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, because I don't know the methods that he used, and so like it would heavily depend. Like my particular opinion would heavily depend on what he actually did in order to gain his or to come to his conclusion. So, I mean, until I find that out, I guess I'd have to go with it being science.
Oh, the live chat screaming from the side. Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Hear somebody yell foul from outside the room. Tom Brady is not beloved here.
Damn. All right, move on to the next one, or do we go to shit we don't care about?
No, let's just go. Let's just go into shit we don't care about.
All right.
Because I like where we're going right now, but I want to get to the comic book.
Yeah, I want to fast forward because I still got to check this shit out. So we gotta.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and I'm keeping important shit short, like probably nothing except that. But we'll get to it. All right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Here we go.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
It's coming up. There we go.
Oh, turn the volume. Go ahead and crank the volume up to 100. I know I said turn it down to 75, but crank that bitch up to 100. Fuck
there we go. We're at 100. There we go. It's cranked. Hit it.
In a desperate attempt to fill 24 hours of programming, here's some bullshit that happened. We've got some footage here of the bullshit, which began just after 3 o'clock this afternoon.
That's bullshit. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. You know what? This is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is bullshit.
Everything that guy just said is bullshit.
That's bullshit, Gary! Nerd! Okay, music stop.
Send the beat, fucking with you.
Yep.
Little stupid ass, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck, bitch. I don't give a.
I don't give a fuck.
Yes. Let's talk about some shit we don't care about.
All right. So for all the first-time viewers and GE, because Godless Engineer, because this is your first time on the show, we have a segment called Shit We Don't Care About. While I'm doing my deep dive in the news, I don't just grab stories that we can talk about for fair fire. I also grab a bunch of stories that we may or may not care about. So this is how it works. I'm going to start reading a headline to a story. If you don't give a shit, then say you don't give a shit. And then we'll move on to the next story.
Say that I don't give a shit at any point in him reading the story. And shitheads, your vote counts. If you don't care, we move the fuck on. Unless anybody can say, whoa, I care about that. And then we got to read the whole thing.
And if anybody says that they care, then I have to read the whole story. All right? So that's how it works. So it's pretty simple. Pretty simple thing. All right, let's see what we got.
Usually the shortest segment on the shit show.
Usually.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes people are like,
every now and then we get somebody who's like, I do give a shit, and I want to know more.
But it's okay to give a shit.
Yeah.
So here we go. Let's do this.
All right. First story. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom are engaged.
I don't care.
Damn. You didn't even let me finish. I didn't even finish the headline. Okay.
That's how it works.
All right. Okay. Well, moving on to the next story.
All right. I'm gonna bite my tongue on the next one. It's up to y'all.
Okay. Let's see. Kylie Jenner has so many purses, a spare.
I don't care.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all didn't even give me a chance to fucking do it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Kate Middleton and Prince Louis went on.
There you go. You got multiples there.
Why did I even pull these stories? It doesn't even matter. All right.
Hey, man, if you ever want to have some real fun, find somebody from England and try to get them to explain to you why the prince and the queen are actually important in real life. Why
All
any
right.
difference with you and me? And get them to explain it to you. You have the time of your life.
Shit. All right. Okay. You know what? I got some friends from across the pond. Maybe we can have them explain it and see. Okay. This is the last story.
All right.
Bella Hadid. Bella Hadid and The Weeknd wore matching outfits to his lavish club birthday party.
Why would anybody give a shit about that?
Yeah.
Listen.
There we go. Thank you.
Thank you. It was a story that had a lot of traction on it. And
wait, KC says, but it's the royal family. Should we go back to one? Or I hope you're joking. All right, time's passed. All right,
that's it. Okay.
I'm watching the chat.
Look at all the people in the chat that don't give a shit about that. Yeah. Fuck this shit, don't care, don't give a shit. Damn, that shit's coming in fast. Look at that shit. All right. Well, now that we've talked about, I think we might have set a record for how fast we did shit we don't care about.
Yeah. Let's do important shit, and
so now
we're gonna do important shit and check this shit out. It's gonna lead right into it.
Okay.
All right, here we go. While I pull up my important shit. Yeah, it's only gonna be one thing, and then check this shit out, and then we roll into this shit.
FlyingZombies.com, Blog Talk Radio, and Team MFN proudly present Hannibal and Monty's Action News with L. Damon on sports, Keith, the man on the street, meteorologist Scientist Mel on weather, and Hannibal and Monty's Action News anchors, Hannibal and Monty. And now, here's lead anchor Monty with Monty's important shit.
Yes, and it is that time of week again for Monty's important shit. Normally I have a bunch of nerdy shit for you, but this week I watched a bunch of nerdy shit and I want to talk about it, so I'm moving this shit along fast. I'm only going to go into one thing, and Hannibal's one of the people that keeps hearing about this. There's this rapper named Boogie that I am fucking obsessed with right now. I fucking love this dude. So, you know what I'm talking about, right, Hannibal?
Yes.
How
Boogie,
many?
He's the newest rapper signed to Eminem's record label, right?
Yeah, but he doesn't sound like it. So, but like Daryl, GE, have y'all heard of Boogie?
I have not
heard of it.
All right, well,
I've heard of him, but I hadn't heard much on it.
Yeah, all y'all need to know is he's the newest rapper signed to Eminem's label, one of the newest.
Now, mind you, Boogie is different from a Boogie with the hoodie. Those are two different boogies.
Yeah, different boogies.
Don't get your boogies mixed up.
And also, here's another fun fact about him. Do you remember when Eminem did his Trump freestyle or Trump cipher on BET? And all the super right-wing news groups were saying, yeah, he's trying to look credible with all these black people behind him. Those were all the new people that he's about to start pushing. Boogie was one of them. Boogie was one of those black people standing behind him. Like, those were all black men that this dude just gave a job to. So, but...
Nice.
Yeah. So Boogie just put his new album out. Like, there was all kinds of shit around the verse with Eminem. I won't get into that right now. What I do want to get into is how awesome this motherfucker is on Twitter. So somebody tweeted, because he just announced his tour. He's coming to New Orleans for only $15, and I'm going to that motherfucker, by the way.
Okay.
But he just announced his tour, and somebody said, yo, Boogie, is B Rabbit coming on stage with you at the shelter? Might have to cop some ticks. Boogie then, in the most Han Solo-esque way, says, nigga, this is my tour. Buy tickets to see me or keep your ass at home.
Hey, 2 points for Boogie. All right. I don't know you, sir, but I am a fan now.
Like, oh, that was a tweet so good I had to screenshot. Like, damn. And that was all there was for important shit, because I want to keep this moving. Because check this shit out. Kind of leads us into it, but it's a little bit lengthy. So, here we go. Hannibal, Daryl, GE, y'all need to check this shit out.
Okay.
It's coming up. It's coming up. I didn't clue Zoe in on my cues. I normally do a little briefing before the show, but here it comes. Here it comes. I just saw her move the mouse. Yes, yeah, I slacked, not her. Hannibal and Monty's Shit Show presents.
Check that shit out.
What is that?
I didn't know they made them like that.
I don't even understand what I'm seeing.
Remember that shit I gave you last week, nigga? It's nothing, nigga. It's nothing. It's nothing, nigga. Nigga, it's nothing. This shit right here, nigga. This shit right here, nigga. Right here, this shit, nigga. This shit here, nigga.
Check this shit out.
So, brothers, I just happened to be watching Inside the NBA last night. I want you guys to pay very, very close attention to Shaquille O'Neal's face. He's on the left-hand side. I tell you, brothers, this all the time. A lot of you guys know every play is not preconceived, but what you do have to watch out for is what I tell you, which is monarch athletes, MK Ultra athletes. Meaning what? Super athletes who may have had everything from genetic modification to being put under drug, psychotherapy, electroshock treatment, things of that nature. Super athletes. Please remember that he is a product of the military-industrial complex. He was stationed overseas in Germany at a military base at the behest of his quote-unquote stepfather, Philip Harrison, who was most likely his first handler.
Who is the reigning two-time champion?
Look at Shaq's face. Shaq is frozen. He's going through a get-out trance right now, and his eyes are not blinking. This is how you know that he's going through what they call an MK Ultra glitch. And many of the more famous and notable athletes in history have been monarch programmed. Pistol Pete Maravich, O.J. Simpson, Reggie Jackson, possibly Julius Erving, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, certainly LeBron James, Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, Tom Brady, I believe also Joe Montana, etc.
You know they call me old brown eyes, right?
Look at Shaq's face. Yo, it's still in the same position. They panned away, went back to him. It's still in the same position. I bet you Ernie Johnson probably tapped him when they finally went away from the panel, because Ernie Johnson is most likely Shaq's handler right now.
Yeah, we had the show out there. Here's just a little sampling.
Still no blinking from Shaq. Up, Nicki Minaj licking her lips. She wants some Victor Oladipo. Nicki Minaj and Rihanna are a couple of monarch butterflies. They're beta programmed. And you see her there at this time, Nicki Minaj was still with quote-unquote Meek Mill, the Luciferian pawn, and the sex toy for a lot of these elite sports owners. That's why they fed over him so much. A lot of people saying that he's a clone. I'm not sure whether he's a clone or not. I doubt if he's a clone. He most likely was just put under a deeper level of programming while he was locked up. Or he could be a clone, who knows? I mean, it really doesn't matter, brothers, because once they sign these contracts, they have no soul anyway, they're done. You're looking mostly at flesh and blood androids in the entertainment industry. Now you see Spike Lee there, he's signaling because he knows that the camera's on him. He has his forefinger to his temple. He's telling you that he's in the know. He's deep into the Kabbalah and female goddess worship as well. Now look at that hand sign that Chuck is throwing up. You see that right there? He's throwing up the yoni, the so-called OK sign. Charles Barkley is a pansexual as well. All these people are pansexuals. It's just that there are certain members of the craft, of that sphere, who are tired of hiding. People like Janelle Monáe, and everybody makes a big deal because Janelle Monáe came on and said that she's a pansexual. I told you brothers about this months ago. All these people are pansexuals, all of them. But just getting back to the point. Charles Barkley, Shaq, they're both part of the craft. They're both high-level quote-unquote Masons, i.e. Luciferians. Now pay very close attention to Shaq's face. He's still doing the same pose. He's still in the Twilight Zone. He's still in the sunken place, never to be found again. Somebody's gonna have to get a teacup with a spoon in it. Once again, brothers, you have no idea how insidious what it actually is that is going on in the quote-unquote sports world and the entertainment industry.
You made up your own words.
Shaq still frozen.
Yeah, long-awaited duet. Victor Oladipo, Charles Barkley, New York.
Now Shaq has finally woke up. He finally woke up. Look at that.
There you go. There you go.
What the fuck was that? Yo! What the?
I mean,
wait, are y'all saying y'all aren't convinced?
He had a stupid look on his face for a few seconds, and all of a sudden he turns into an MK Ultra cyber bot or something.
And the best part is that he's presenting this stuff like he's presenting real evidence, like he's really right now.
Bruh, I just can't, bro. What the, bro? What was it? The female god sex toys that Nicki Minaj and
some kind of butterflies. I can't remember.
Monarch butterfly.
Yes. Monarch butterfly. Yeah, and I only really was peeping that shit out just because I was a huge Venture Brothers fan. So,
yeah. So there you go. I'm trying to. Have I topped the guy that created the Chimera for you yet, Hannibal?
But I literally took my mask off, threw it across the room. I had to switch masks. I had to fucking shit pissed me off. So, bro, some people don't need the internet. All right? Bro. Oh my god.
Man. Everybody don't need a mic.
Yeah. GE, I don't know if you know this, but I'm still trying to top this one check this shit out I did way too early. But if you don't know this, you can jack off into an egg. You got to make the hole small enough, but you can grow a chimera.
What?
Using that egg. Yeah. I found this video.
I feel like that is not actual science there.
Come on, it's totally real. There's 4 hours of video if you want to sit through it. I watched all of it.
I'm going to sit through 4 hours of guy jerking off into an egg.
Well, it's not 4 hours of him jerking off. It's the aftermath of the jerking off. I'm sure on Pornhub you can find him jerking off into the egg.
Oh, okay.
It is the worst video. I mean, look, I don't know how you be finding this shit, bro. Like, I feel like I be on YouTube and I don't be seeing the shit that you be on.
Well, actually, this is one of the ways I found people like GE, because he's debunking this shit. I'll find these crazy videos, then I'll go, oh, who's talking shit about this? Let me go find out who's talking shit about this guy. And then I stumble on the people I really enjoy. That's how I found GE. And I actually subscribe to those people and invite them onto the shit show. Everybody else I just make fun of. So yeah, there we go. And right before we move on, we're gonna try one more time. R&D just told me he's at fucking SmackDown, because I was like, where the fuck are you? Yeah. But he said he's gonna whip a video up real quick. So he whipped one up and sent it to me. I don't know what this is gonna be, but here it is.
He edited a video while at SmackDown.
Yes, on his phone. He said he can do it from his phone.
There's several apps where you can do that now.
Yeah, and I quote, he said, "Trust me, it'll be good."
All right, let's see what's up.
So here we go. He just sent us another one, and it's coming up right now. As soon as Streamlabs cooperates this time, there we go.
For Black History Month, the Shit Show would like to honor this black bean burger.
Stop it.
No!
Stop it.
No!
There it is. Oh.
Damn it. Why does he not get what would... Oh, God.
Yeah, no. Look, all right. Look, here we go. Let's play the one you made because that actually sets us up to get into these movies. So let's play that one. Here we go. Here it comes. Up, the video screen went away. It's coming back, and it's all queued up.
Crank that bitch up to 100.
Crank it all the way up to 100, Zoe.
There you go.
Yes. And once the video screen pops back up, we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna.
So this is when we mean black excellence. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah. Like, pay attention to this research and development. I know you're at SmackDown. I'm gonna tweet you in a couple minutes because I know you always watch your fucking Twitter. Fix it. Follow us on 5H1T Show on Twitter, and you can also follow research and development.
And I just saw the Partners in Crown just jumped in. You know, they it's a Crown ambassador group that makes sure that all things Crown Royal get promoted. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, get us some Crown Royal. I will drink that shit on the show, Partners in Crown. I love my Crown Royal.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So there you go.
All right, here we go.
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, the baddest man in the galaxy was also the first black man to take over all of space. His name was Darth motherfucking Vader. Now some of y'all might be thinking, but hold up, Darth Vader wasn't black. Well, let me break it down for you. He was born as a slave on hot-ass Tatooine, which is basically the Africa of space. He was hot-wiring cars and hustling on the mean cantina streets. When his old mentor, Obi-Wan Kenobi, tore his ass up on Mustafar, did he go to the hospital or police? Hell no, because he didn't have health insurance. Obamacare wasn't invented yet. He had his homeboy Palpatine fix him up at the crib. And later on, when he caught Obi-Wan's bitch ass in them streets, he beat the piss out that nigga. Cause the streets don't forget, player. His treacherous ass baby mama wouldn't even let him see his kids. Sounds pretty black to me. And Lando Calrissian invited him over for a fried chicken and watermelon dinner at Cloud City. It don't get blacker than that. And when his white boss tried to fire him without giving him his pension or a severance package, Vader quit in the blackest way possible. So we here at Hannibal and Monty Shit Show would like to honor the original shogun of Harlem in space, Darth Vader. Stay gangster, my friend.
Yes.
There you go.
So
there you go.
Research and development. That's how you do it. But do it the way you did our intro. That's all we're looking for.
Right. That's all. Just do it like that. Just, you know, just appreciate that. Just celebrate black excellence. We only got one more episode. We only got the Tyler Perry episode on Sunday. So you only got like 3-4 days to get it right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For the next episode. So please research and development.
You can do this. You can do this.
So
right. Just get it right. Just get it right.
Yeah. Also, Godless Engineer's face was priceless in that moment. I was laughing. Your face was completely red laughing. That's really good stuff. Good stuff. And all the music for Hannibal and Monty Shit Show is produced by myself and Daryl right there, and our production partner Johnny Facebook Famous Brasco, who's in the chat somewhere as well. So, you know, we've been making music for 20 goddamn years. Feel like we do pretty good at it.
There we go. I'm trying to figure out where to point while you say things.
I don't know which screen everybody's at right now, but we're working it out.
Let's roll into this list, and I have them all in chronological order. So
yes.
We'll move on to the first movie that came out August 1st, 1997.
Yes,
which was Spawn.
Yes, Spawn. So what order are we going in right now?
I was going chronological, and I figured we can give our grades
in terms of like the show, like how we reviewing.
I mean, do we want to pick an order? Like, let me open it up to the panel. Like, what do y'all think?
I was gonna say let's go alphabetical.
All right, alphabetical. So let me remember the alphabet. Let me remember his name. Let's see. Are we going G or E for Godless Engineer? Because, you know, E is technically like If I were to look you up in the library, I'd look up engineer.
So it doesn't
Godless.
matter because you would go D first, then E or G, then H, then M.
But are we using our actual names or our pseudonyms? Because that
Pseudonym.
also plays into it. You know.
Well, so then I would go last. I don't know everybody's real name. What is your real name, Monty? I don't even know.
I mean, y'all got to figure it out. It's not a secret. You can figure it out if you want. But
it's funny.
It's no secret. But I'm not just gonna tell you. Do the fucking work.
Right, I got you. Well, let's do. The way we did this last time, just for everybody that's tuning in for the first time, we're gonna, each do like a brief synopsis of what we thought about the movie, and then we'll give everybody a list out their grades, and then we'll go on to the next movie.
Yeah.
And the chat, you guys if you've seen the movies, please drop your grades in the comment section. We go all the way from A+ to F-. You can do B+, C-, D+, whatever you feel like the grade deserves, you give it. All I ask is that, before you give a grade, you actually be honest about whether or not you have seen the movie. All right. Some of these movies are terrible, and I don't need you saying that it's terrible if you ain't seen it. I've seen it, so I know how terrible these shits is.
Yeah, make sure you have watched the movie. So why don't we let our guests go first?
Okay.
We'll let GE go first, then we'll let Daryl, then we'll fight over who goes next.
Okay.
All
right, GE, what did you think of Spawn?
Okay, so Spawn, I liked Spawn. When I saw Spawn the first time, I was a teenager.
Yeah. That's a great way to start it off, by the way, just so you know.
When I first saw it, I thought it was a really good movie, but then I kind of got caught up with like the actual cartoon, because I never really knew the comics of it. So I know I like the cartoon a lot more than the movie. And if I had to rate it here on this, do I need to give the synopsis for everybody?
No, you don't have to give a synopsis. Just what you thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're real loose on the shit.
Yeah. There's no real structure. Just if you have something that you really want to say about something, say it. Otherwise, you can go, this movie was trash. I gave it an F. And then we'll move on. Like, you can keep it short or long, however you want.
Okay. Well, I thought that the movie, I don't know, it kept me interested as a teenager, I guess. But, I think the one that really drew my attention the most was probably Danny DeVito's character. Or John Leguizamo. Yeah. He looks like fucking Danny DeVito in it.
Yeah, he definitely does. He definitely
But I thought what's his name? It's right on the tip of my tongue that played Spawn.
Michael Jai White. Yeah.
Michael Jai White. I thought that he did a pretty good job of playing Spawn, and I can't really fault him for the script that he was given. But I would put that at like maybe a C+. Like as far as like in comparison to the other movies like in the list, I would say that it's like it's better than a lot of the other movies that are on the list, but like the ones that I really like on the list it's definitely at a C+ level.
Yeah. All right. All right. Fair enough.
Daryl, what say you, sir?
Well, I'm a B-movie connoisseur, man, so I thought this would be right up my alley. And I seen it as a kid also, but I didn't remember anything about it. So watching it back earlier today was my first time really seeing it. And I think I give it like a strong D+.
All right. Y'all are in the same area.
It was hard to get past the look. Like before you even get into like as far as the story and the acting, it kind of fell in line with all of the other B movies that I take in. So I didn't find it, as unforgivable as some of the other stuff I seen today. But still maybe like a D+, man. Like the look of the characters and the costumes, it was just hard to get past for me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So should I go first or you, Hannibal? What do you want?
You want to rock, paper, scissors that shit?
I don't know. Which one do you prefer? What do you
how much do you got to say about Spawn?
I got a little bit to say about Spawn.
I got a lot to say about Spawn.
All right, I got a little bit. Let me go with my little bit. As one of the only people on this panel that has actually met Todd McFarlane and had his best friend trick Todd McFarlane into a get-rich-quick pyramid scheme.
Ooh, I feel like there's a story there.
Yeah, we won't tell it here. But I grew up a fan of Todd McFarlane and nerded the fuck out when I met him in an elevator, and he personally showed me the Spawn mobile. And when he said he was making this movie, I'm like, I'm all in. Let's do this. Till I saw the fucking movie. I was like, nah, bruh. The best thing was the intro. And rewatching it, I felt the same way. But I felt it a little stronger, but it was helped having seen 21 dog shit movies beforehand. So it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. That being said, I still gave this movie a fucking F. Because there's no reason. Spawn's a cool character. There's no reason for this movie to be as bad as it was. This should have been a great movie. But no. So there you go. I'll leave it at that. I gave it an F. That movie's an F. That movie should not exist.
I can't.
Yeah. So look, listen. Fuck Spawn. All right, that shit was trash. That shit is super duper trash. Like, and I told Monty this earlier, and I've been saying this to everybody. Like, I can remember being in high school, going to see Spawn with a bunch of my friends, and they was all like, when we walked out the movie theater, they were all like, "Oh my God, that movie was so amazing! That movie was fantastic! That movie was this, that movie that." I said, "I don't know what the fuck y'all seen. We must have seen a different movie. That shit was awful." I remember thinking that shit was awful when that shit came out. So rewatching that shit again as an adult, it's like, yo, that shit was that shit is fucking terrible. Listen. Anybody that listens to Hannibal Monty shit show, you know I do not grade movies on a curve. All right, I compare it in. I grade every movie as it exists in the pantheon of film and cinema. This is very
look. The way I say it is, you grade this movie as if it exists in a world where good movies exist.
Yeah, that movie is fucking. Oh my God, I don't even got enough stuff to talk about just about why it's terrible. Like, it's just the super shitty opening sequence from the voiceover to the shitty effects. It's got a little bit of nothing for nobody. It's like, why did okay, the movie starts off with like Michael Jai White is in what I'm guessing is a Korean airport. Which is super weird because I would imagine he's in the bad Korea, not the good Korea. You know what I'm saying? But he was very obviously in there, and there were like all kinds of people from all types of places and shit, which I definitely didn't think was happening in the early 90s. But you know, one issue at a time. There's like a bunch of like air traffic controllers in the air traffic tower, right? And then one of the guys turns around and like, wait, no, Michael Jai White spin kicks one of the guys in the back of the head. Then he pulls out a machine gun and then shoots everybody else, and then proceeds to pull out a rocket to blow up a plane with terrorists on it, right? And he's got this super accurate missile that can blow up very specific people, but then it just blows up the whole plane, and then he blows up the whole fucking air traffic control tower. This is like the first 5 minutes of the movie, all right? So here's my thing. All right, so here's my thing. Those air traffic controllers, they weren't terrorists. Those were just guys working. You know what I'm saying? They just went to work that day and just got fucking murdered.
Much like the people on the Death Star.
Right, and then on top of it, right, thank you, right. We gonna Kevin Smith the fuck out of that in a second, but hold on, right? See, I was thinking about the movie, and as soon as the movie came on, I was like, hold up. All those other people in planes can't land now because there's no air traffic controllers to help get them on the ground. So realistically, that particular day, Michael Jai White, Spawn's character, Al Simmons, probably killed like 500 or 600 people, okay? Because these planes are now just flying over North Korea, and you know North Korea don't give a fuck. They're gonna shoot that shit down. You know, fucking the Jong-il family just be shooting missiles just for the fuck of it. You know what I'm saying? This is not a good movie. This is a really, really, really bad movie. Like the special effects, the fight scenes, just like the plot line is just like, and I hate John Leguizamo with my whole heart. Like, okay, like it was just, if I was casting the worst movie of all time, I would definitely cast John Leguizamo and Jamie Kennedy and fucking Katherine Heigl, and like they would just be in the. If I could write the worst movie of all time, there's certain actors that I would get. And John Leguizamo is one of them. He's a comedian that is not funny. You know what I'm saying? He's like Spanish Dane Cook. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't with him, man. He's just awful. There's a scene in that movie, like, and for you guys in the chat, you haven't seen Spawn, okay? So if you haven't seen this movie, then don't worry about it because it's trash. Like,
but if you have seen it,
if you have seen it, right? There's a scene in that movie where Spawn has got like he's with like his dead baby mama's or his dead ex-girlfriend's new daughter, and he's taking her like somewhere in a high school gym, and then like John Leguizamo is dressed in a cheerleader uniform, and he's like, Spawn, he's our man. If he can, but nobody's around to see him dressed as this cheerleader. Like there's just shit that happens in this movie for no reason and with no explanation. It just shit just be happening. Like outside of the special effects being terrible and just not, they was terrible in 95, 96. They're still terrible now. Just like, I'm not even talking about that. There are just continuity issues and plot holes. This movie is an F. All right, this is a terrible, terrible, terrible film. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to punish somebody, show them this movie. I gave this motherfucker an F. All right.
There we go.
You're talking about punishing somebody by showing them this. I think it's pretty early to say that based on some of the movies we still got coming up.
You're right. The night is young. So
yeah, this is not the worst. So, speaking of some of the worst, let's move on to the next one, which was only 14 days after Spawn came out, August 15th, 1997, Steel, starring Shaq, the guy that can't stop staring at the camera, the super athlete. So as we said, GE, you want to take this one, or do you want to pass it on to somebody else and come back?
No. I'll go ahead and take it, and I'll tell you right off the bat, I give this one like an F- or whatever. Like
nice, the first F- of the night. Steel. Yes. All right.
It simply should not exist. For one thing, like the entire reason why Steel is even a superhero is the fact that he came up during the whole time frame when Superman was supposedly dead. And so there was 4 Supermen, that rose up or whatnot to supposedly fill a spot. So the only reference that Superman gets in this film is a goddamn tattoo on his arm.
Yes, that's all he got.
A fucking and he was originally like his title was originally Man of Steel, to which Superman, when he comes back, he shortens it to just Steel. But he starts off with the whole Steel moniker, I guess, and all he has is the Superman tattoo with Man of Steel on it, and that's all you get from that particular part of the lore. I'm guessing that the reason why the tattoo looked like it was drawn on by a goddamn 8-year-old is because they couldn't get like to have like an actual like artist come in and color his arm. And then of course you've got the horrible suit that he was in, and like the horrible acting from Shaq. Like, you thought that his whole dumb face in the little Sports Center clip was bad. Holy fuck, the entire movie is about that bad.
Yes.
Okay? And then you have the puns. The puns in it are fucking horrible.
Yes.
It screams like 1990s trying to be edgy comedy kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, like, he's got a fucking hammer that he can turn like a little knob at the top, and it becomes magnetic, and it causes like guns to stick up his asshole.
Yes. He never uses it as a fucking hammer. Why is it a hammer?
That was my issue. That was my whole issue the whole time. He never used his hammer as a hammer. I'm sorry. I jumped ahead.
Yeah. We apologize for jumping all over you like
I'm
that,
sorry.
dude.
No, that's fine. It's a horrible movie, and honestly, it just shouldn't exist. The only way that it should exist is if it ties in with the Superman storylines, in some way, and you actually do a decent fucking job of it instead of whatever kind of hack job they did with the Steel movie.
And you know what? Job number one: don't cast Shaq as Steel. I don't care how young he is.
That was the first thing you had to do was don't do that.
Yeah.
And he didn't make any attempt to hide him either. Like they just gave him real lines, man, and it's a disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe this is the better way to do it. We can open discussion it like this, and then each of us toss out our grades.
I can toss mine right now.
What did you give it?
I gave it the same thing that GE gave it. That was my first F-.
All right,
F-.
You know what?
All right.
And I'm gonna be I'm mildly more generous than you two. I gave it just an F.
I also gave it just an F, but the reason I gave it just an F is that we're only allowed. So the way the rule works, Godless Engineer, is because this is going towards our rankings in the great comic book list of all time. You're only allowed to give 1 A+ and 1 F- to every 10% of the movies that we review. So right now you're allowed 2 A+ and 2 F-. Everything else can be pluses and minuses across the board. So B-, C+, D-, whatever, it doesn't matter. But the coveted A+ and the dreaded F- are only allowed to go to 2 movies. And I gave an F- last month when we did for DC Superhero Girls. And I refuse to take that F- away from that right now. But in a month or two when we get to like 30 movies or whatever, and I get another F-, then I might revisit one of these movies. But in the time being, I just gave it a regular F.
And also, the next month, we are doing all comic book movies featuring female superheroes.
Yes.
And that will have Scientist Mel on with us. It's going to be awesome. Yes. And Mel will be back next week with more Science Up videos and not us advertising our art or music. Or wait, I should point up. So, but continue. Sorry, had to throw the cheap plug in.
I was with y'all as far as it just being an F at first, but there was like 3 things that happened that kind of pushed me over the edge.
Go ahead, talk about it.
All right. First thing was just the whole idea that this dude was building government level weapons out of junk.
Yeah. Yeah. He was the Sanford and Son of building weapons.
Yeah, but his shit had lasers and plutonium and all kinds of shit going on. And I'm like, where are they getting this stuff in this junkyard? It's not like they had like special junk. It was like regular junk.
It fell off a truck, Daryl.
Yeah, that's what Shaft said. Shaft said,
AKA they stole that shit, and we just blew over that.
Oh no, I get that it was stolen, but the shit that he made looks like they did some metal work. Like they created
you didn't see Shaq out there sweating, hammering that sheet of wood?
Yeah.
In those montages?
Smacking this wood, and then he turned it into this highly complicated object.
Did I say wood? I meant metal. Sorry, it might as well have been wood. It was plastic. Sorry.
But outside of that, so you got the fact that he's making government level weapons with junk, and then you get past that part, and then you get to there's a part where he's having a fight, and I think somebody busts through a door or something like that, and it stops and it zooms in on him, and he's like, "It's on now," and then they go into the rest of the scene. It was another one of them Catwoman moments, man. I would have walked out of the theater.
Yeah,
oh, that Catwoman's coming. Catwoman's coming. GE, you were about to add something.
And the last thing that gave it an F- was like the random gospel breaks in the middle.
Yes, the gospel montage. There's a montage in this motherfucking movie where he is building government grade weapons in the junkyard, and there's a gospel choir singing a song about steel. They knew that songs for that movie.
It's literally like they took the intro to Amen and just dropped it in the middle of this movie for no reason.
Yeah.
So I do. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh no, y'all, you.
Oh,
man.
you're good. Look, I'm going to tell you the rules when you're on Hannibal and Monty Shit Show. Interrupt.
Yeah,
okay.
interrupt.
Okay. I have to say, I pissed myself laughing when the very first like set of things that Shaq did as Steel, and like he was about to come up on a red light, and apparently that's a problem for Steel. Okay, but no, legit, the woman, the paraplegic woman,
Sparky, yeah,
Sparky.
You got to do the finger with it, Sparky.
Oh yeah, and then he did a little ET thing.
Yeah,
right.
Yes,
the woman legit pulls up fucking notepad and starts typing away like she's hacking the street system or whatnot. She just types some shit in on it.
That bitch pulled up Windows Paint on Windows on Windows 98, and that bitch was a touchscreen.
Yeah.
I bet you ain't never. I bet you ain't never seen fucking Basic and DOS with fucking touchscreen. I bet you ain't.
You know what? Maybe that can be our torture episode for March, because we haven't figured that out yet. Maybe we can watch the top 10 worst movies ever made. There's
I was
a list
thinking
somewhere.
about we could do the what do they call the Golden Raspberry Awards? The Razzies?
Oh, guys, if I can suggest a movie for that.
Okay.
Zardoz.
Wait, what?
It's called Zardoz.
Please send that in Messenger so we don't forget it.
Please don't send that in message. I just feel like that's just we already doing Tyler Perry. You were to torture.
You will not be disappointed with Zardoz.
Oh man,
okay?
I fucking
look. I don't think any bad movies will piss me off as much as Tyler Perry did. I can do anything after this challenge. Name it. You can't find something I can't do now. So
right, look,
I don't know. Zardoz might be a struggle for you. Like I do not know if you'll be able to make it through Zardoz.
Oh, I can make it through anything. Tyler Perry genuinely pissed me off. I'm still angry about it.
Yeah, you're going to be angry about that one.
Angry. But that's okay. That's okay. So we all gave this Fs. Let's move on to something that should be.
Wait, hold on. Wait. I ain't talked about this shit yet.
Shit. Hannibal, take it. Hannibal, take it.
So
say what you got to say.
There's a lot of bad in this movie, all right? There's a whole lot of terrible in this fucking movie. And I could talk about, Judd, creepy and obvious Judd Nelson being creepy and obvious bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Or I could talk about the girls walking around Shaq's construction job looking like fucking FUBU models. Or I could talk about how Shaq kidnapped Sparky from the VA hospital and then destroyed government property for no reason, right? Or we could talk about how Shaq was just big and strong, and they just never let us forget the fact that Shaq was big and strong, right?
And could make a free throw.
Yeah, and the fact that they even they kept making jokes about Shaq not being able to shoot free throws, right? Like, there's a lot of terrible stuff in this movie that I could talk about, but I'm not going to talk about none of that shit. What I'm going to talk about is how bad the costume is, right? Because the costume is terrible. Like, it's just a god awful fucking costume, right? And like, I don't understand like why it exists as a gigantic mouth hole. You know what I'm saying? It's like the bad guys are shooting at him. They never shoot at his lips. It's super weird. Like, it's okay. So first off, is there a different 7'2" black man walking around in the city?
We thought the same shit.
Like why did nobody like Steel is going around in costume saving people, right? And everybody's like, I don't know who he was. I just have no idea this and that. And I was like, what other giant? Because like at one point he said that there's a scene with like some old white people in suits and evening wear, and then they're getting robbed crossing the street. As a sidebar, this is like the most obvious superhero trope ever. Like if you an old white couple and you crossing the street in evening wear, you about to get robbed. All right, you know what I'm saying? And somebody's gonna have to save you at some point. But this is like an old, like if you old white people and you crossing the street at night with a playbill in your hand, you about to get robbed or shot. All right, I don't know why, but it always happens. It's been happening for years. So these old white people's crossing.
That's
the
how
street,
we got
they get
Batman.
robbed. Yeah, that's how we got Batman. So shout out to, and he killed his parents too. So shout out to that guy. He was a real trooper. He gave the world Batman. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, don't kill people's parents. Killing parents is bad. So anyway, like when the police are talking to these, somebody or a criminal steals this old woman's purse. Fucking 7'6" Shaq gets the purse back and he gives it back to him, right? And then when the police are asking the white people, like, hey, who was the guy who saved you? And he was like, oh, he was like this 7'6" black guy. And it was like, so I mean that's it, right? Like I don't even understand what the point of having a mask or a helmet is at that point. All right, like there's no other reason for that shit to happen. Then he was getting shot at all the time. He never got no bullet fragments in his lips, the teeth, the eyes. Or nothing. The shit was just weird. There's a gang fight scene that's so bad that in a span of 30 seconds, there's like the finger waving, like to people shooting at his nuts, to him destroying a car with his hammer and saying the phrase "It's hammer time." You know what I'm saying? To Robert Roundtree saying the worst line of the movie, where he says, "Well, I'd be dipped in shit and rolled in breadcrumbs."
Yeah.
No, how do you feel about him using the hammer as like a sonic weapon? I mean, he did not use the hammer to like stop the car, right? He used the sonic gun, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so it's like, it's like using a gun, but you use it as it's like using a gun as a hammer, right?
Yeah.
It's just like
Look, and here's the best weapon in your arsenal: a shotgun. But you just walking around swinging it and hitting people with the butt of it.
It would have been so much easier and lighter to just give him an actual gun.
Yeah.
That did it.
Yeah, it's just the movie is very, 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 very bad. There's a scene where Shaq gets arrested, and he's in jail, but he still got his transceiver in his ear, right?
Right.
And he's talking to Sparky in jail, right? And prisoners and corrections officers all see him talking, and he's like, okay, and what's happening next? And blah, blah. And they're just like, he's crazy. He's a crazy guy. Just like it's an awful, 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 awful movie.
Yeah.
And it definitely deserves the F that it gets. Like if you meet a girl and she's like, oh yeah, Netflix and chill, and you not trying to have sex with her that night, put Steel on. All right, 'cause you ain't getting no pussy. All right,
if you just want to watch Netflix,
right?
Jack went through that whole movie, man, and then he got to the end and got the girl. He got a hug, son.
Yeah, yeah, and that was just weird.
Look, that was the '90s. They weren't pushing interracial relationships then.
Yeah, and it's so much bad, and it's so like super 90s too. Like word is born, G. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just super over the top. It's just
Cash rules everything around me.
Yo, oh my god, fucking Ray J was in the movie, man. Fuck my life, bro. Just it movie's enough. It's a terrible, 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 terrible movie.
Well, let's talk about something a little bit better. Let's talk about Blade.
Okay.
All
right.
I think I'm curious to see where we fall on Blade. I'll let y'all, like, what do we have to say about Blade? Like,
all right, who's going first on Blade?
I'll go first on Blade.
All right.
I mean, I would say that Blade is a solid B, because I mean, for the storyline and the cinematography in it and everything that it did, I mean, I thought that Blade was a really good movie. And it kept me interested the entire time. It really got me into like the Blade character. And, I think that the later movies ruined it. But I think that this first Blade movie was kind of like one of those, like almost a cult classic, but at the same time, it still has like a lot of that early 2000s kind of vibe to it. I don't know. I think it was done in the early 2000s, wasn't it? Or was that like
actually 1998?
Blade came out 98. August 21st, 1998.
Okay. Yeah, so late 1990s. Which I mean, you got to be. I mean, it had a whole lot better writing and production and acting when compared to fucking Steel.
Yes.
It wasn't even the same caliber movie.
Yeah. At this point in the year, Blade's the best comic book movie to come out that year.
Yeah. So
98. It was the only one. Sorry.
I mean, I'd give it a solid B.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I went B+ on Blade, the original Blade. Yeah, and I think I appreciated it more after I seen the second two.
Yeah.
When I first seen it, I think I took it for granted a little bit, and then after the second two came out, I went back and watched the first one.
Yeah.
And he might have went from being like a B- to a B+ with it.
Yeah, I'm at the same place as you with a B+.
Wait, hold on one second. I want to address somebody, Wellington Smith, who just subscribed to our channel. Awesome, thank you very much, Wellington.
Thank you, Wellington.
Glad to have you with us. He said he would rate Blade 1 and 2 a solid 8 out of 10. How would you translate that into a letter grade? You know what I'm saying? So if you could translate that into a letter grade, because I want to write your score down so we can keep it in our master list. You let me know.
Yes.
Monty, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I gave Blade a solid B+. Like there was the problems I had with it were just minor. It's just short of being a really great movie, but it's a damn good movie.
Yeah. So, I think we're all in the same range. I gave it a B. I thought it was a very good movie. Matter of fact, the first 2/3 of the movie are almost great. Like the fight scenes are great, the ambiance is great. It's a great superhero movie. It's a great vampire movie. It's a great action movie, and it's got a little bit of like diet horror kind of like snuck in there. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you kind of see how like when the Wachowskis saw Blade, they were like, "Oh yeah, we want to do the Matrix like this." You know what I'm saying? Like we wanted to feel like this. Like we wanted to have this ambiance, this je ne sais quoi, this essence. You know what I'm saying? It's a really, like, I think at the top of the third act, it gets kind of it gets a little weird. You know what I'm saying? But not like to the point where it just ruins the movie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like he's just like he drives a motorcycle into like the lower level of a building. It's like, how'd you do that, bro? You know, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. But like there was other stuff, like the scene where like he's in the hospital. The scene where he's in the hospital and the first vampire, Donald Logue of all people. Who remembered that was Donald Logue in the movie?
Donald Logue.
I recognized the face, but I did not remember his name.
Yeah, he was the guy. He was the guy like Blade kept cutting his hands off.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was his name.
Yeah, Donald Logue, man. You know, I've always seen him in comedies and shit, and he was in that movie. And it was crazy. It was just like, but it was like that scene where like that scene is amazing because like Donald Logue had just bit her after being burned alive by Blade, and then Blade goes to the hospital to finish him off, and then he escapes. And then as Blade is walking past the black girl Karen, trying to decide whether or not he wants to save her or not, as he's going to save, there's two cops that come around the corner and they say freeze, and then Blade turns his head and then they start shooting at him, and then the bullets bounce off him. He's like, "Motherfucker, did y'all shoot him?" And then the cops take off down the street, around the corner. That scene is awesome. That is just a great fucking scene. Also, it talks a little bit about this police culture because he didn't even make a threatening move, and they just started shooting at him, and then came back with reinforcements and just started busting down the hallway. They started shooting at him before he threw that bitch out the window. So
that's true. That's true.
So you know, just so you know.
That's true.
You know, it can't sell me on that one bad apple bullshit. All right, it's been a problem for black people for years. All right, way back in the '90s, Wesley Snipes had to deal with that before he had tax problems. All right.
All right. All right.
But yeah, the movie was really, really good. And I gave it a B. It was a really good movie. The action, the martial arts choreography was dope. His sword work was dope. They used Justin. Like, honestly, if the ending wouldn't have been what it was, I probably would have rated it a little bit higher. But I gave it a B, a solid B, because I thought it was a really good movie, like a solid good movie.
Yeah, I'm with you. So let's move on. Let's go a few years later to March 21st, 2002. Blade 2 is the next one. And look, first, I gotta say, we need more black superheroes to pop up, because how do we go from 98 with Blade 1 to 2002, Blade 2? Nothing in between?
Yeah.
Come on. There's more. We had Luke Cage back then. We could have done that. We had Power Man.
Yeah, they were still working out the kinks.
Yeah,
in these films for sure.
Yeah. But it's a good thing that Luke Cage didn't come out back then, or we'd be talking about how terrible that movie was. So it's a good thing. All right, but yeah, Blade 2. Who wants to take Blade 2 first?
All right, so Blade 2, I would give a D- to, because it's not complete trash, but it's just almost completely terrible. I mean, I thought that the whole premise of the entire movie was just fucking unneeded, and it just, I don't know, like the whole newer kind of vampires and shit, I don't know, I couldn't really buy it. I don't know, it just seemed like a very terrible sequel is all that I can say about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This one hurt, man, because they had an opportunity after the first one to kind of turn this into a legitimate franchise going forward. Before they even had franchises like that in the comic book realm, and I thought that that's what they were going to do, and went into part 2. Yep. I'd say at best maybe like a C-. Like I said, okay. I'd group it with some of the other B movies. I would take in some of the Dolph Lundgren. You know what I'm saying? Like some of them tough guys movies. Yeah, but I couldn't have any more interest in that though. Like I said, I like Wesley Snipes. I like the fighting in it. But outside of that, I don't think I liked anything else about the movie. I didn't like the new characters or the premise, like G said. Yeah. C-.
Yeah, I kind of fell in the same territory. Blade 2 got a C- for me. It was just barely good enough. It was, and I told research and development this, and he told me that I was wrong. I believe he's wrong, because that movie is not that good. It's just barely good enough. So
okay. Yeah, so I guess I'm the odd man out here. Now, the funny thing is, I'm not that far removed from everybody else. I actually gave the movie a solid C. I think it is a mediocre, forgettable movie. Like, I think you see it and it's gone. It's like, if it's terrible, I'm gonna remember it from being terrible. But I forgot Ron Perlman was in this movie.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm watching the movie again, and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot she was in this, because
that whole shit was stupid. Like that all the shit they were setting up with, why is there a vampire team? Why is Blade falling in love with this vampire after a night of adventuring? I thought he hated vampires. Nope. Yeah. Don't work. Don't believe it.
Yeah. See, for me, this is like, this movie is bookended in a very weird way, because it's like those shitty underworld movies, right? With Kate Beckinsale. And it's like shitty underworld movie, but then they'll have like, there were 2 scenes in this movie that I thought were fantastic. The first was the scene with like Donnie Yen is randomly in this movie. Why is Ip Man in this movie? Why is IP Man in this movie? And why did nobody know that he was in this movie? Also, they never show him die. He just wasn't in the movie no more. It was just like they was filming. It was like, oh yeah, we can't afford your visa no more. You gotta go back to China, bro. And that was it. And he was just Donnie. He was just no longer in the movie no more. Anyway, just so there's two scenes in this movie that are fantastic. The first is they go to a vampire night. Oh, Daryl from The Walking Dead is also in this movie.
Yes.
Who remembered him being in the movie? Nobody.
I remembered him being in the movie. I thought his character was kind of shit.
Oh no, his character was. I didn't remember that he was in the movie. When I started rewatching the movie, I was like, "Wait, you in this too? What the fuck? Like, what's
Norman Reedus? Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus, right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He's every white trash girl's dream. They fucking love him. Shit, you can't. They can't kill his character off because they fucking love him too much. Fucking they lose all their ratings and shit. You can't kill off Daryl. Anyway, the two scenes is good. It's like there's the scene where they go to the vampire nightclub and they have their first encounter, this vampire hunting team versus the meta vampires or whatever. I don't know what you're supposed to call them. You know what I'm saying? The vampires that eat other vampires. You know what I'm saying? They're like self-hating Jews or black conservatives. I don't know. It's weird.
Let's just call them the black conservatives.
Yeah,
there we go. We'll
in that scene by itself, like if you just had that scene by itself, you could put a movie around that because that scene was awesome. The way it showed how how Guillermo del Toro showed the mouth opening up, from the bottom and splitting open and shit like that. And the way it's like you can kill him, but not really. And this doesn't work and that doesn't work. Just that whole scene is executed beautifully. And in the scene where they're in the sewers hunting these sons of bitches, those two scenes are incredible. And everything else around it is awful. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't say awful. It was mediocre to bad. And there's some parts in it that's really, really bad. Like the Norman Reedus, the Daryl reveal in the movie is awful. It is laughably bad. Like it was like, oh, I betrayed everybody, and this is why I did it. Ha! And it's so cartoonishly over the top bad. You know what I'm saying? But then you got these good pockets in it. That's like, oh yeah, this scene is dope, and this scene is dope.
Yeah. So
I factored it all together, and for me, it is just an average movie. It is just like you see it once, and this is how I describe Blade 2. It's one of those movies. Like, have you ever seen a movie like in the theater, or you see it on DVD or VHS, Netflix, or whatever? You watch it, and then you forget about it, and then years go by, and then you fuck around and watch the movie again, and then you watching the movie and you're like, wait a minute. I've seen this before. Where did I see this? And that's Blade 2.
I thought you were going to go, wait a minute. I don't like this.
No, it's that movie that you see years later that you forgot that you saw before. And you'd be like, oh, I did see this. Oh, yeah, I didn't really like this. All right. And that's what Blade 2 is. It's one of those movies that live action animation will watch and be like, oh, this is fantastic.
Another shit show guest. Possibly nominated for next year's shitties. But we'll see what the numbers say. Yeah. But let's
I gave it a C.
All right.
Just
all right.
A solid C.
All right. Well, let's go 2 years into the future to July 21st, 2004. Catwoman. And I know we've been letting GE go first, but please can I start off with this one?
Sure.
All right. Yeah. All right. I'm just going to start with my grade on this. This is, I believe, the only F- on my list.
I also gave it an F-.
Yes. But this isn't the only reason. But one of my biggest issues, if you are running a company that is creating a face cream that prolonged usage gives you fucking superpowers?
Yes.
Why are you gonna push to keep putting that shit on the market?
Yeah.
Like, how? How is this happening? What the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, nobody thought, oh, you know what? We can still do that idea. Why didn't they just take the simple option of saying, okay, the cream gives you superpowers. Let's let that be the secret project of this company. That's how Catwoman finds out. She hears him talking about the secret face cream. We got to kill her now. Not we have to kill her because she found out about the fucking product we're putting out to the public that gives you superpowers. The world's about to have fucking superpowers. I'm done.
Godless Engineer, down.
I'm done.
How many minuses do we get?
You are allowed 2 F minuses, and I'm checking to make sure that you haven't given anything an F minus yet.
Yeah. And look, just so you know, that's not the only reason this movie gets an F minus. That's primary though, because that's fucking stupid. But continue.
Yeah, yeah. You still checking?
Oh no, I'm not looking. I'm gonna find out. Go ahead and give us your grade while I look up the great list.
I'm gonna go ahead and give this an F minus as well. And if you find that I've already given something an F minus, we'll take it away from whatever that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was bad.
This one was bad all around, man.
This movie set us back about 50 years in movies. Like, seriously.
And it was so transparent, man. Like the women's empowerment angle of it all. Like they didn't even do a good job of trying to mask it in the movie.
Yeah. Or they didn't do a good job of empowering women.
Man.
You know, as research and development said, it seemed like the writers sat there going, women like makeup, right? Let's make it about makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Shout out to director Pitoff, who went on to do nothing after this.
Yeah,
because he did this movie and then faded away into the sunset like he was supposed to.
That's because his idea was women like makeup, right? Let's make Catwoman about makeup.
Yeah.
Bullshit. But
yeah, this one was bad all around, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just for the record, Daryl, you have already given out 2 F minuses to both of the DC superhero movies girls. DC superhero girl movies.
Those are horrible, but those are cartoons. Let them live. Yeah, you can give both those F minuses to Catwoman.
Wait, are you doing the first ever double minus?
The double F minus. No, we haven't.
I'd be willing to do that here.
Godless Engineer,
everything about it. All of the performances was garbage. Like the script was garbage. The premise was garbage. Like say Halle Berry was garbage. Like she wasn't good at being like timid or being aggressive. It was nothing good about it, man.
Yeah, it was just offensive.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with an F because I still feel that Steel was much worse than Catwoman.
Now you are allowed 2 F minuses, even though
I get that, but I mean I'm wanting to be conservative with the F minuses and only give it ones that I think
GE might be wanting to save those F minuses because he might want to participate in more of the lists.
You know what? And I'm totally with that. Last month I only gave out 1 F minus because I knew Catwoman was coming up. So I knew I was saving one for Catwoman.
Yeah. We'll keep messaging you the list. We'll send you the old list too if you want to send us grades.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get what G's saying, man. Like I think that Steel probably was technically worse, but in a way I don't feel like they was trying as hard with Steel. Catwoman was supposed to be the shit. Like when they made it, they thought that this was gonna be some next level stuff.
Yeah. And from what I understand, Halle Berry kind of took control of the script on this too, which makes me more upset with her.
Yeah, she took control of the script, she took control of the wheel.
Yeah.
Crashed that joint.
Bro,
like, don't take control of it if you don't understand what you're taking control of. Like,
Jesus Christ. I can't even this movie was so look. Normally when I'm writing out these movies, I'll write a nice little list of just different things. But I didn't do that with Catwoman because the movie's so bad. It's just like they're just like, from like Halle Berry acting like personifying the characteristics of a cat, like chasing bugs on the ground and like walking on the back of the couch and like getting high on catnip and just shit like that was just like, all right, that shit is just all that shit is bad. And then like the performances just all across the board is like just the bad guy is just laughably evil. Sharon Stone is just laughably duplicitous. It's just all of it is just from top. Then the music in throughout the movie that plays in between the scenes and shit and stuff is just it's all bad. The basketball the basketball scene is so it's all bad. But none of that is as bad as the dialogue, as fucking like yeah, like she was like, she's about to get fired from her boss. You fired from her job, and then her boss like, I'm sorry, sir, blah blah, this is that. And he's like, is that all you have to say? He said, well, hold on, well, let me try it again. This is the remix. And then she basically curses him out. It's terrible. Or like the scene where she beats the guy up and then reaches in his mouth and literally says, what's the matter? Cat got your tongue.
Oh.
Dudes, like, here's the thing, and I say this all the time whenever we talk about bad movies. If this is the shit y'all kept, what the fuck did y'all throw away? What's on the editing room floor? What's the shit that didn't make the movie?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This shit is laughably bad. And where this movie is worse than Steel, right? And I mean they're both equally bad. But the reason I'm rating this movie harder and worse than Steel is that with Steel, they didn't spend a lot of money on it. You can tell when you look at Steel that they did not make it. Steel was like had the budget that would be the equivalent of like those Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen movies. You know what I'm saying?
Check it.
Yeah, go ahead.
The action in Steel looks like the action from Superman 3.
Uh-huh.
If you look at it, like the explosions and the gunshots, it's like Short Circuit meets Superman 3 somewhere in the middle. Except this movie came out like 20 years after all of that.
Yeah, it is. It's like, it's like with Steel, it looks like a straight to DVD. Like it looks like Most Valuable Primate or like one of those Air Bud movies. You know what I'm saying? Like it looks bad, but you know they didn't spend a lot of money on it, so it's bad and it's cheap. Right? Like Catwoman had like the huge budget and the huge production. Like they didn't just hire they hired Halle Berry to do this shit. When the Steel had Judd Nelson and Shaq were the stars of that movie. You know what I'm saying? Halle Berry was at the top of the fucking food chain.
Yep.
And that shit is awful. So
I think she had just come off like, was it Boomerang? No, she wasn't in Boomerang. Was she?
That was late.
No, she wasn't Boomerang.
All right. That was her in Boomerang, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Boomerang, Catfish, fucking, that other one.
Monsters Ball?
Baps.
We don't talk about Baps. We don't talk about Baps and Catwoman. We don't.
That shit is just, like at one point in the movie, she literally says, like somebody saying something. She's like, oh, that's not just a good idea. It's a perfect idea.
All right. With that being said, let's move to the next fucking movie because I'm done talking about Catwoman. We're going December 8th, 2004, Blade 3. And this brings us close to the end because I'm pretty sure we're going to agree on the next two, and the next two should go fairly quickly.
Yeah. Let's
talk about Blade 3, though.
Blade 3, Blade Trinity. I totally had forgotten that Jessica Biel was in this movie.
Oh, I didn't. That's the movie that made me fall in love with Jessica Biel, even though it's
Really?
a terrible movie. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that and I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry.
Yeah, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. And it wasn't even the whole movie. It was just one scene in that movie.
Yeah, we all know what scene. What scene.
Yeah, we know the scene.
Yeah. But, yeah, I remember Jessica Biel.
Yeah. And Reese, I see Reese in the chat I don't think he knows what BAPS is. If you don't know what BAPS is, don't even worry about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you don't need to watch it. To watch it.
It's terrible.
Forget we said BAPS, Reese.
Yeah.
And notice who's pronouncing your name correctly, because you've corrected us numerous times.
I said Reese.
I thought you said Reese C.
No, I did not. I said Reese.
I'm just quick to throw Hannibal under the bus with
He is. He's trying to throw me under the bus today. We won't let him do it, okay? This black on black nerd crime will not stand, okay? I'm not going to let the mainstream liberal media. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I almost threw some shit about that fucking Kamala Harris weed thing in the thing. I'm doing a separate video about that because I got some shit to say to some of y'all.
Mm-hmm. Dragon in the West gave it a B minus. You gave Blade Trinity a B minus. Just make sure I got you right.
Yeah,
I don't want to misquote you.
I want to know, but let's talk about Blade 3. GE, you wanna go first on this? I'm not as passionate about the makeup about this as I am about the makeup that gives you superpowers, because that was bullshit. But
so I mean, I would give Blade 3 like a C, because I mean, what it kind of lacks in like a solid, I guess, story or perhaps acting. Like it does have some great comedic moments to it, and I mean, I would say that it's probably it's a solid C. I would borderline on like a C plus, because I mean, the Dracula kind of like I'm not as familiar with the Dracula storyline in the original comic books for Blade, but you know, having that antagonist of the movie that, you know, is the bad guy, I feel like, you know, is a little bit better than the bad guy from Blade 2, because if I remember correctly, in Blade 2, the bad guy was also kind of a victim of circumstance or something like that.
They just kind of turned into a bad guy. For the sake of the plot. And that was another thing about Blade 2 that really bothered me, because he wasn't a bad guy, but then it was like, but at the end it was like, we need him to be a bad guy. So
he was just a dude with daddy issues.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'd say C plus is what I would rate Blade 3 as.
Okay, right. C plus. All right. Now let me ask you a question before we go on, Godless Engineer. What stops the movie from getting a B minus? Like, what stops it from that threshold for you?
Interesting.
Well, I guess it's like the I mean, you could point to any number of things. For one thing, I mean, I don't mean to sort of shit on blind people, but I mean, you had the blind geneticist that developed the genetic serum, like to basically eradicate, I guess, all of the vampires is what it did.
Yeah, genocide, basically.
Yeah, and so like, and obviously you needed Dracula's blood because he was the purest and everything like that, and it got to the very end, and that's when Blade combined the blood samples or whatnot, like kill, like I don't know, just that entire part of the storyline really, I wasn't exactly sold on it, and I think that it made the movie like worse. I think that if they had like a better like ending or a better end game to the movie, I think it could have pushed it into the B's. But yeah, I would have to say that probably Ryan Reynolds didn't necessarily save the movie, but he was like a big like comedic driving force. And the fucking character that I hated the most was goddamn Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H. It was awful. It was just it felt weird hearing Triple H curse and then curse so much and so often.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like at one point he said something about fuck starting somebody's face or something. It was just like just hit my ears wrong. It was just like, so come on, man. You're the COO of WWE Wrestling. You know, be better.
You can't say fuck to Ryan Reynolds. What are you doing?
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Ryan Reynolds' character is going to either you like him or you don't. If you like him, then it's going to make the movie much, much better for you. But if you don't like Ryan Reynolds in that, basically pre-Deadpool, pre-Deadpool.
I was about to say, it seemed like Ryan Reynolds early auditioning for Deadpool.
Yeah,
but he kind of is this guy in every movie that he's in, though.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is this guy, with the exception of that movie.
Buried.
You beat me to it. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Except for Buried. That was like the one time. That was the movie when I realized, oh shit, this guy can act for real.
Yeah, he fucking killed it in Buried. And that movie, that's a great fucking movie. We need to figure out how to put that on some list somewhere.
Yeah, that was a good movie. It's a good movie that me, you, and Ryan Reynolds' family saw, and no one else.
Yeah. So Well, the shitheads out there need to see it. But let's keep this moving because we're running close, or we're over. We need to get to the end of this. So Daryl, what do you? C plus. All right.
C plus.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
I liked it a little bit more than the last one, and I think the Ryan Reynolds comic relief helped out a lot. It distracted from some of the other problems.
I might be the oddball on this one. All right. Elaborate. Say whatever you got to say about it before I chime in.
Before he shits.
Huh?
Like, I think I liked all of the same things I liked from 2, like the action and Wesley Snipes.
Yeah.
I think the added comic relief helped, but like I say, the story was still kind of shaky. So, but like I say, at the end of it, it was about an average movie for me. Like I say, good B movie quality.
All right. Yeah, see, for me, Blade Trinity was below average. And where I am now says a lot. Because me giving this movie this grade, and I considered it, means that I would put watching a movie like Tyler Perry's Good Deeds over watching this.
Ooh.
Because this movie got a D for me. Good Deeds got a C minus, and it's just barely over.
I don't even really know how to do the grading system then, man, because there's no any of these movies I would watch before I watch that Tyler Perry movie, bro.
Like the torture episode has really set the standard for bullshit. Like, this is the standard for bullshit. For me, Tyler Perry has made one movie that's almost average.
I got
and
you.
That's how I felt about Blade Trinity. It was almost there. It wasn't.
Oh yeah, it was mighty average.
Yeah, it's like I don't even think it was average. I think it was almost average. Like or it's just below average. Trinity. Like there's a lot that that movie was a mess.
But you didn't give it a D plus or a C minus. You gave it a D.
Yeah, it's a flat out D. It was a mess. I found that movie to be a mess.
You know what helped me with it though? Was the fact that for part 2, I went into it with a certain expectation because of how much I enjoyed 1.
Yeah.
When I went into 3, I had no expectation because I really didn't enjoy 2, and then I enjoyed it more than I expected.
Yeah.
So I think the perspective might play a lot in my grade as well.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. And I'm taking it. I'm treating all these movies the way I treated all of the other movies. I'm grading them standalone, keeping in mind that they're part of a series. Standalone, how do they stack up against every movie that I've ever seen?
Mm-hmm.
No curve, not because they're comic movies. How do they stack up as movies?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and it falls into the D category, Blade Trinity. I hate to say it.
I gave the movie a C minus. I'm actually closer with Godless Engineer and Daryl on this one. Like, I thought it was a slightly so I remember seeing it when it came out in theaters in 2004, and I remember thinking to myself then that movie was awful, right? Like completely awful, unwatchable movie. And then watching it again now, like 14, 15 years later, I'm watching the movie like it's like I don't remember one detail about this movie. I mean, I remember Ryan Reynolds was in the movie. I remember Triple H was in the movie. And that was it. I didn't remember nothing else. I didn't remember Parker Posey was in the movie. I didn't fucking remember that the I couldn't remember I didn't remember none of the rest of the shit. So it was interesting, and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna hate. I didn't know Patton Oswalt was in the movie. You know what I'm saying? It was like he popped up, and I was like, oh shit, Patton Oswalt. So the movie starts off super cliched, like, who am I? I'm Blade. I kill vampires. There's the voiceover with the fucking techno music. Boom, 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 and it's like, my name's Blade. I kill vampires. 8 years ago, my mama was bit while I was pregnant. I got this sword dipped in silk. It's like, it's the super cliched just intro. It's just everything about it is just like real, just forgettable. But like everything about it just screams average action movie. And I felt like watching the Blade movies that like, and it definitely has to do with the direction and not the screenwriting, because I think David Goyer wrote all 3 movies, right? And it's weird because, you know, he also wrote The Dark Knight, but then he also wrote like the David Hasselhoff Nick Fury movie. You know what I'm saying? So he's a weird writer the way he does. So I think it might have to do with his directors and who does what. I don't know who directed Blade 3. Don't care to know. Fuck that guy. I hope he never works again. Hope his family starves forever if he has to feed him based on his films.
Damn.
But like
Hannibal doesn't fuck around, GE. It's hardcore.
Yeah, listen. Fuck that guy in his movies. All right, that's just it. Fuck him. Fuck Petoff and Kenneth Johnson, who directed Steel. Fuck all you guys. I hope y'all never work again. Anyway, it was like the first Blade, had a good story, good acting, good choreography. The second Blade had slightly less. Like everything, just like each movie, it just felt like it was just going down a little bit. Like the acting got a little worse, the fight scenes got a little bit worse. You know what I'm saying? But it was like, but it never got beyond the realm of like being unwatchable. And I say that with Blade 2 having some scenes that were really bad. You know what I'm saying? But there were also some scenes that were really good. In Blade 3, everything just kind of just stayed at cruising altitude. Like it never, got no.
Except we were buzzing the tops of office buildings at cruising altitude.
Yeah. Penultimate called me Hannibal, the movie cannibal. Listen, man, I call them how I see it. Man, look, this is just my opinion. I advise you all to go check out the movies and give us your own opinion on the shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe not Catwoman, Steel, and Spawn. You can just avoid those three unless you're just mad at somebody or if you just want to torture yourself or something. But otherwise, I thought it was just an average movie. Like Ryan Reynolds played Ryan Reynolds. Jessica Biel's character, was like, and that was something that kind of bothered me because the first two Blade movies, they just kept beating us in the head with, Whistler had a family, his family was fucking murdered, and that was the reason that he's fighting these fucking vampires. And in the third movie, it's like, oh yeah, you remember the daughters I told you I had that got killed and ate by vampires? Well,
this was alive.
You know what I'm saying?
She's Jessica Biel. Look at her ass, everybody.
Yeah, it was just, that's like a weird thing just to kind of throw at somebody all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? So it was just, but that notwithstanding, like the worst thing for me is that you got this super ultimate powerful vampire, who they call Drake for some reason, right? Which is very telling. Come back to that another time. I don't know. It's fucking anyway. But like fucking Drake, the
she used to call me on my cell phone.
Look at you knowing Drake's songs. Like, this super powerful vampire, right? It's like, they resurrect the very first vampire, the very first Dracula, and Blade is literally chasing him through the city with a sword. Like, you the most powerful vampire on the planet. Why are you running? And then at the end of the movie, he decides to fight Blade with a sword. Like, I don't understand. Like, this is what I'm saying. If I was going to resurrect Bruce Lee, I'm not going to challenge him to a nunchuck fight. I'm not doing that because that's the thing that I know he's really good at. I would fight him somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's just, and then the ending is just weird because then it's like, he was like, oh, Blade, I respect you. You're going to be the future of our people. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're going to kill all our people, but this is what I'm going to do for you. All them crimes that you committed, I'm going to take the blame for those crimes. So before I die or after I die, not really know how this is going to happen, I'm going to turn into you, and then the cops going to find my body, then I'm going to turn back into me so that way you be clear to all the crimes. This happened in the movie.
Yeah.
I did not make this up. This is the spoilers, all right? This is the movie. And it was just, C-.
All right. Well, we got the C-. Well, let's
C-. I'm sorry. I can't do no more talking. C-.
Let's move this shit forward. Let's get to the end of this list, which is 2 movies left, and they should be fairly easy ones. And the next movie, 2018, February 16th, Black History Month, a year ago, Black Panther. What do we give that?
So, can I just say real fast before we rate this movie? how long? When did Blade 3 come out?
Blade 3 came out
Maybe.
February 16th. Wait, no. December 8th, 2004.
So in 2004, that was the last black comic book. Oh, and we should also, nobody talked about this, but Blade Trinity was the first of the movies that we watched that had the Marvel intro logo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Where
that's
did
true.
the whole with the flipping comics and all that shit. That was the first of the bunch.
That's
Nobody
true.
even talked about this. That's crazy.
We didn't.
But yeah, we went like 14 years before there was another black comic book movie.
Yeah.
Like at a certain point, it was like, yeah, we just not gonna do this.
That's just because you gotta wait for something like Black Panther.
All right.
Let's fucking dig into that shit. And not much digging in. We already have for the most part.
Yeah, we talked about this already, but Godless Engineer, what'd you think of Black Panther?
GE and Daryl haven't said anything about either one of the next two, so we'll give them a shot.
Oh, and we got a
let's see. For Black Panther, I mean, I'd give it a B minus.
All right.
And the reason why I give it a B minus is I don't know. There was of course a lot of CGI working in it, and it had a really good, solid story, but I don't know. Like I can't say that it was like a really good movie, but it was definitely one that I can and have watched again, and you know it's part of the larger Marvel universe, but I feel like. You know, I don't know what's keeping me from saying it was a really good movie, but I'd have to go. It's definitely a solid B on my scale.
All right. We'll take it.
My grade's way higher than that. I gave it the highest grade that I could give it.
All right. Let me put you down. Or wait, do we already have you down? I'm gonna put you down anyway.
I think we already have him down, but
we talked about this during the last list.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
but I gave it the A plus, man.
All right.
Call it bias. Call it what you want. Plus.
Look, I also gave Black Panther. Black Panther and Avengers: Infinity War were the only two movies of 2018 that got A pluses for me. I enjoyed both of them equally. So and you know it might be coming from the same place of bias. Like it's like finally a bunch of black people and they're not acting like Tyler Perry characters. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
That is wildly important.
Yes.
So there's no color bias in my review. This shit got an A plus because it's a great fucking movie. Like,
and
this,
it is.
This movie is I don't want to make any qualms about it because I like to, you know, I'm nothing if not transparent, despite the fact that I wear a mask. When I first saw the movie, I thought the movie was good. I was like, this is a good movie. This is a really good, well-made, like as far as superhero origins go, you know what I'm saying? This is definitely one of the better superhero origin films, right? And I was like, everybody I knew was like, oh my God, this is the greatest movie of all time, this and that. And I was like, I knew it was good and I wanted to see it again. Then I went and saw it again. And I was like, oh no, this movie is fucking fantastic. And it's fantastic for a lot of reasons. Just first off, let's go ahead and address the negatives, because there's two main things that I hear people talk about when they talk about this movie in a less than positive light. They talk about the overuse of CGI, and especially in the last fight scene with Black Panther and Killmonger, you know, and the CGI rhinos. It just all just looks really bad. So you know, so there's that. And I understand people not liking it for that. And then there's some other people that don't like it for just the story itself, because it's an origin story, and it just kind of felt like, oh, it's another origin story. So I don't want to, you know, like most people don't rate origin films that high up on the list. Like, there are very few exceptions of origin stories that get like extremely high ratings out the gate. That notwithstanding, the acting in this movie is fantastic. Chadwick Boseman an Academy award, an Academy nominated actor, played T'Challa so well. Academy Award winner Angela Bassett, Academy, what's her name? What was the girl who was his love interest? Well, I can't think of her name right now.
Oh, I can't remember.
What's her fucking name? Somebody help me out in the chat. Who's T'Challa's love interest in the movie? I can't think of her name right now. Angela Bassett is in the movie. She's fantastic. Michael B. Jordan playing arguably one of the greatest Marvel villains ever. Was fantastic. Who else? The dude from Get Out, Daniel Kaluuya, fucking, he's awesome. Michonne from Walking Dead in the movie is awesome. Fucking Andy Serkis as Claw.
He was
awesome. And fucking Bilbo Baggins. And fucking Bilbo Baggins. Like, the movie has so many fantastic performances that you forget Oscar winner Forrest Whitaker is in the movie. That's how good the acting in the movie is. You know what I'm saying? This is like some top of the food chain shit.
All right.
And then on top of that, like the fight scenes, because people love to point to the last fight scene with Killmonger and T'Challa, with all of the CGI. But can we talk about that fantastic single track shot in Korea at the fucking club? Can we give that shit some credit?
Yeah.
That shit was fantastic.
That was.
You know what I'm saying? It was like, man, it was like that movie is so great, and it is great on levels. And it was like after I watched it again, Lupita Nyong'o. Thank you, thank you, everybody in the chat. Oscar winner, Oscar nominated actress Lupita Nyong'o was in the movie. Like I said, it was just from top. Like, what's great about the movie, and I want to say this for all the white people watching the show, because I know we got. No, look, listen. Because I like to keep it 1,000 with y'all. Like, there are some. Like, within the black community, there are some things that happen there's some issues that happen that get talked about in this movie and like some of it's very passive, some of it's very open. First off, there's a very strained relationship between Africans and African Americans. All right. There is a very strained relationship there between our two groups of people. All right. We do not identify the same. Africans do not look at African Americans like we are brothers and sisters. All right. Like, that is not what this movie is at all. So, I mean, that's not what life is. So the movie talking about that shit between, and through the relationship of T'Challa and Killmonger, it's like, yeah, like, you see me suffering over here and you're not doing anything to help, but the flip side of it is that's how a lot of Africans feel about African Americans. Like, yo, y'all see us over here suffering and you're doing nothing to help us. You know what I'm saying? And that's a very real thing that they talked about in this movie. And, I think they also did a very good parallel of, like, you had the white guy that was here to help us, which was Bilbo Baggins, and you had the white guy that was here to exploit us, which was Andy Serkis. The movie was very balanced in the way that it presented these things, and it didn't do it in a very obvious way, and that's what makes the movie so fucking good, is that it gives you this social message without throwing it in your fucking face.
Yeah.
And that's why the movie gets an A+, because it gave you that message without forcing that message down your throat. Unlike a Tyler Perry movie where every 2 seconds is, well, God this and Jesus that, and maybe if you prayed on it and all that shit. It's like, nah, man, they just talked about this.
After a first kiss.
You know what I'm saying?
Can we pray together?
Yeah.
Well, yes.
And it was just like, look, man. Like,
no.
Look, I have a friend of mine. I got a white guy as a friend of mine, real good friend of mine. We were talking about the movie, and he was like, yeah, I thought the movie was okay. I gave it like a C or C+. And I was like, a C? I said, why a C? And he was just like, for him, he had a hard time watching a movie with affluent black people because it was something that was foreign to him, that was unfamiliar to him. And it was like, so because it was just so unnatural for him to watch, it took him out of his reality. And I was like, so rich black people in Africa, you can't suspend your disbelief in reality to enjoy. but white people in Asgard, you can suspend you just believe reality and watch that shit.
All right.
Really,
Fair
bro?
enough.
You sure? All
Fair
right,
enough.
man. Come on. So
Fair
I
enough.
definitely gave it an A+. And I can honestly say when I first saw it, I felt like it was really good. I did not give it an A with the first time I saw it. It was the second time I saw it, and I noticed all the subtle nuances in the way the movie was told, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty awesome. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, A+.
All right.
And the last movie that we got to talk about came out in December last year.
December 14th, 2018. And this brings
my
us to the end
movie.
of our list. So, Into the Spider-Verse. And this is it. Like, let's see what we thought about this. I don't think this part will go on too long, and we can wrap this all up. I got one more research and development video, which, if you got it right, that'll be a little bit, but his track record has me
Wellington
concerned.
Smith wanted to let us know that the Streamlabs is not the Streamlabs link is not working.
Okay. I don't know why. Like, we've been shooting ourselves in the foot with Streamlabs every fucking week. I'm gonna figure that out. I'm gonna change it right now, or I'm gonna post it in the chat. But continue. Like, what do we think of Into the Spider-Verse?
I enjoyed this one. I gave this one an A, just a straight up A, and I think that was because I ran out of my A pluses because I'm a little bit overzealous. So
let me see. Last time you gave A pluses to Black Panther and Spider-Verse.
Oh, did I give Spider-Verse an A+ too?
Yes, you did.
Oh, well, good. I get to keep it then. All right. Well, there you go. I enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed, like, you got your regular Spider-Man stuff that you're used to getting, like your action and adventure. But I actually enjoyed, like, the story between the son and the dad. Obviously,
Yeah.
playing a role in my grade.
Coming from a place of bias, but that's okay. That's okay. You be a good dad. Like,
it was
I think all of us except Hannibal might be coming from that place. From
Really?
that dad. From
Am
the dad
I the
zone.
only one with no kids? Am I the only one with one Xbox controller?
Yes.
All right.
I also enjoyed watching him try to go through puberty. I thought that was kind of dope too. Not something that I've seen in them explore in a lot of the movies in that way.
Yeah, most of the heroes that we get are always adults. Like Spider-Man was like that first character that was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they did a good job, of kind of exploring it. It really reminded me a lot of, it kind of brought back memories of going through that part of my life myself. So I connected with it that way.
Yeah. I just enjoyed, like, I don't want to step on toes. GE, did you want to go before me, or?
It doesn't matter to me.
All right. Like, Into the Spider-Verse for me was just from animation to storyline and seeing them take Miles Morales. Miles Morales has always been that fucking dark horse character that just seems like a terrible idea. But once the right writer grabs him, once the right creative team gets him, they take him and they make him almost bigger than Peter Parker. I say almost because Peter Parker's still the fucking man. And this movie delivered on it. They put Miles Morales in, and he wasn't a bit part. He shined above every other Spider-Man that they've ever made, which blew my mind. A. Solid A. Not the plus. This one got an A. I think I just gave it an A before, right?
Yeah, I think you just gave it an A. Let me see. Spider-Verse. Yeah. Actually, Daryl was the A+ last time.
Yeah. Just a solid A. But really great movie. Super well done. Good job, Marvel. And that's my grade for this.
GE would say you, sir.
Well, I mean, I would give this an A+, because I'm particularly biased towards Spider-Man because he's one of my favorite superheroes, and I thought that this particular change of pace was very well executed. I thought the storyline was very solid, and I felt like the character building in it was really good. Because you see, Miles go from, the inexperienced web slinger or whatnot that just gets by a special spider to like, finding confidence in himself and, and knowing that he belongs in this wide universe of other spider people. And, it's like an internal struggle for himself, and you can really see it in him, because he doubts himself so much. He doubts whether or not he has the ability to do these things, and he's got these other people that are in his head trying to tell him that he can't do things. And so he has to overcome that, and he, regardless of what everybody else thinks, he's determined to do things because he knows that this is his reality, and he's the only one that's going to be able to do something about it. And so, like, that whole character building thing, I felt was very well done. And so that and the art direction and everything like that, total A+ for me.
There we go. Damn. Hannibal, what about you?
I have to say, Godless Engineer, your review of it was remarkable, to the point where you made me think about things in that movie that I didn't think about when I saw it. And I was like, shit, you got a point. I didn't even think about, because in the movie, everybody's telling him what he can't do.
Yep.
Like, you can't do this, you're not ready for this. And that's the whole movie, is just people telling him what he can't do. I didn't even think about that shit. Damn, you just kind of opened it up for me like this. So this, I can say this real easy. I gave this movie an A. This is it for me. And I know some people won't agree, but this is the best. This was the best Spider-Man film ever made. This was the best animated film that Sony has ever made. And it was one of the best superhero films of the year, if not all time. Like, this movie was fantastic. They took a risk with that animation style, and it paid off. Like, it looked fantastic. Like, it was just like, when I first saw the trailers for it in the commercials, I was like, I don't think I'm gonna like this, because it kind of looked like Kubo and the Two Strings, which I think the same director did this movie. And if he did, kudos to that guy. Like, everything about it, man, was just like, it's got one of the best post-credit scenes that I've seen in a Marvel film. And it's fantastic. Like, look, it's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. That movie is very, very, very well made. Like, I literally can't say, like, and I'm real curious to see how the Oscars are gonna play out. And it sucks because I never miss the Oscars. I never, ever, ever miss the Oscars. And this year, the Oscars fall on the day that we're doing the Tyler Perry episode, our Torch episode. So I'm gonna miss the Oscars for Tyler Perry.
Hang on. I have to look. KC, I got to challenge you. She just said the best animated film ever made was The Little Mermaid. Fight me. I'll fight you on that.
That's not even the best Disney animated movie ever made.
I'm going Aladdin. No,
Lion King. Both of y'all are wrong. What the fuck are you
Look,
talking
you're wrong too, Hannibal. Both of y'all are wrong.
I'm definitely not wrong.
So look, when we do a Disney show, you need to come on the show.
Oh yeah, we got to do that. When we rank all the Disney movies from best to worst.
Yes.
We got to figure out how to arrange that one though first, because
I'm seeing the chat and I saw challenging words. I'm like, no, I disagree.
The Little Mermaid, really the best Disney movie of all time?
Yeah, I'm only glancing at the chat. If that was part of another conversation, if you were trolling somebody else.
I didn't know, because I think she was responding to me saying that Spider-Man and Spider-Verse are arguably one of the greatest animated movies of all time. Look, like last year, Incredibles 2 came out, which was incredible. and Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet came out, which was really good. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse came out, which is good. Isle of Dogs came out, which is fucking fantastic. And I still have not seen Mirai, which is supposed to be amazing. Vapion said Mulan is number one. You're trolling. I know you're trolling.
Yep.
I can already tell. But you know, Caitlin, if you want, when we do,
we're hitting you up for the Disney movies. Trust me.
We're gonna do a Disney show. You can be on it and defend your position about Little Mermaid. You know
we're gonna talk shit about Disney movies. It'll be like this one.
First off, Ariel forgot the word for feet, bitch. How you forget the word for feet? You know what I'm saying? She's like, what do you call them? Feet. You know what feet are because when you got on land, you wiggled. Save it for the show. All right, that's a good movie. I'm not hating on it. It's just calling it the greatest is just all right. We're gonna talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, yeah. I'm sorry. I really like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I gave it an A. I gave it an A, and after watching it again, I might need to give it an A+. Godless Engineer, you actually gave me some other things to think about. So now I'm gonna think about it. So we're gonna see.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's start bringing this.
She forgot the word for feet, bro. I just don't.
I get it. I'm with you. But let's wrap this up. But before we do, let's give R&D one more chance. R&D has, while at SmackDown, texting us pictures from SmackDown constantly. R&D has sent us another video, and he says he got it this time. He understands. He saw the Darth Vader video and gets what we're looking for. And let's see what we got. Here we go. It's coming. And I got to replace this splitter because my audio keeps going out. Here we go.
For Black History Month, the shit show would like to honor Black.
No. Oh.
Just the whole fucking color. Just the entire color black.
This is why he was able to do these while he was at SmackDown. Because I can make a video for the color black. Like, shut up, you failed.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Like R&D, as soon as SmackDown is over, we're gonna have a talk. All right.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine him in the bathroom recording the audio for this next to that fucking trough that they have? Recording arenas, like all 20 guys at the trough are like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yes, the P trough, right? The worst invention ever made. Yeah. Okay. All right. He definitely fucked us on that one. That's okay. We had got the Darth Vader one in, so you know what? That's fine. And next week's I don't know who we're gonna honor for, for the last episode of the Black Excellence, you know what I'm saying? But our upcoming shows, we got the first show in March. We're going to be talking about the rappers like Hobson and Joyner Lucas and Logic and Tech Nine.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about all of these fantastic lyricists that black people, for whatever reason, do not like, and we're going to try to see if we can figure out why. And then deeper in the February, March, we are also going to be doing the all-female comic book, the female superhero episode. We rank all of the female superhero movies and put them in order from best to worst, and then add those into the great comic book list of all time. Godless Engineer Daryl, if you guys see any of those movies and you want to add your grades to that list, we will just go ahead and average them in. Since you guys have been shit show guests now, anytime you guys rate a movie, the ratings automatically fall into our master list.
Yes. And GE, you are welcome on any show you want to be on. So,
matter of fact, we might need to do another episode. We need to do an episode with Godless Engineer and our favorite flat earther, E. Green.
Yes. I would love. I'm always looking for a flat earther to talk to.
Yes. Look, E. Green's a cool guy. He's not like the crazies you normally deal with. E. Green's a really good guy and will actually sit and talk with you.
Yeah, like and it's super weird because he's super smart. He's one of the most financially sound people I know. He gives great relationship advice. His pimp hand is hella strong, and he just believes the Earth is flat. It's
I don't know why.
It's bewildering to me.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the type of flat earther where you can be cool with him and go, no, that's bullshit what you just said.
I'm sorry. I saw in the chat somebody said Caitlin said Maleficent was wonderful. Girl, bye. We got to get you on the show to talk about that shit. We gonna definitely have to get you on the show. With Angelina Jolie.
Yes. And also, before we end, I didn't get to make this joke. You are still Black Illuminati approved, GE. I will continue to monitor your live streams.
That's right. From now on, when we have the Black people meetings, I expect you to see you there. You know, the meetings are always set at 7, but we always show up around 8:30. So you know.
And also, any of y'all in the chat, Nightbot is still in there, even though I took Nightbot's mods away because he was timing some of y'all out for no reason.
Right.
He's giving links to Streamlabs that don't work, but he's giving links to GE's channel that should work.
Yes.
So click on those links. Go subscribe to him if you're a shithead that hasn't subscribed to GE. He's awesome.
Go subscribe to Godless Engineer's channel. He has some phenomenal videos just destroying flat earthers. It is just, oh my God. I laughed so hard today watching these videos.
Which one was your favorite that you binged today?
The SpaceX launch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the SpaceX launch. Because I see those same people. Like, I had a whole chat. Like, I hate talking. Like, I was, and I'm gonna say this real fast before we wrap up the show. But like a couple weeks ago, I was working at one of my job's sister properties, and I was talking with one of the young guys there, and he just always gets hung up in these fucking conspiracy theory like videos and stuff. And he was talking to me about how he felt like the school shooters, all the school shootings are like like they're all crisis actors, and nobody actually got killed because the government is trying to make guns illegal. And then he would go off on another tangent, and then he started talking about flat Earth, and he was just like, and whenever people say this stuff, I don't argue with them. I just ask questions. I just be like, all right, so who stands to benefit from this? You know what I'm saying? Like, if the earth is flat, like, who makes money? The only people that make money off the earth being flat is globe salesmen. You know what I'm saying? Like, who else is monetizing this shit? He's like, nah, man, like, the earth is flat. You know what I mean? He's saying? And it's like, at the end of the earth, it's like a wall of ice that's being protected by people so that way we can't go past the wall. I said, that's Game of Thrones. You just described Game of Thrones. It's a very popular TV show. That's a very popular show that you just described to me. That is not flat earth. You know what I'm saying? It's Game of Thrones. You're talking about the wall. Jon Snow, fighting off the wildlings. The Ice King. Winter is coming. That's what you just described to me. And that's what they do. And they literally just described this very popular show. It's like they believe it's a globe, and then the reason the sky is blue is because it's water. Gravity is man. What? Just, oh my God. Just fucking... So next week's show is...
Or the fact that there are multiple key holders walking around, and these key holders can unlock different worlds that our hearts can be drawn to.
Oh, you just did that so simple and clean. I like that.
Yes! Oh! All right. That was good. All right. That being said, let's turn this over. Daryl, GE, do y'all have anything to say before we close this shit out the way we always do?
Well, as I always say, be sure to stand up and use your voice.
Yes,
right.
Yes. And Daryl, you got anything for us?
As usual, I don't.
All right. Awesome. All right. Well, I guess that just leaves us, Hannibal.
Yeah.
That just leaves us, Hannibal. So, fucking great show.
Yeah, very good show. I always, me, I always love doing these comic shows. So I'm glad we was able to do it. Thank you, Godless Engineer, for being on the show. Daryl, always a pleasure. Next week's show is our torture episode for February, where Monty and I will be talking about all 23 Tyler Perry movies. And there is a chance that we will have an actor or a writer that has worked on Tyler Perry films to be on that episode. So when I tell you We are gonna get in his ass. Boy, I told him, I said, bro, you're gonna lose your job after this one. If you get on this episode, they're gonna fire you.
So we'll see. We'll see. So next week, that is Sunday. So tune in. You don't want to miss this shit.
The Human Torch his ass, boy.
Yeah. So
I'm definitely in a way about look, and it's sad because now that the show's over, I'm about to go watch 2 Tyler Perry movies.
Yeah. And coming up, we're nearing 1,000. Get ready for surprises from the shit show once we hit that 1,000. Share this shit, like it, let people know. Tell them to come subscribe to us. I know we got a couple during the show. I don't know what number we're at now. I haven't looked. What happened to that graphic? All right, I can't tell. Not looking right now. But that being said, why don't we let Birdman take us out like he normally does? Here we go. Coming up.
This was a shit show.
Y'all finished or y'all done? I ain't got no more talking.